have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions? At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum ba dum bum bum bum.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
And now welcome back into GreyWolves pregame live here at Volcanoes Stadium, a very special edition brought to you here and just about 10 minutes away from first pitch. So we're going to continue on with our pregame show and give you a little bit of a history lesson here about our international opponents tonight in the Perth Heat. Now this particular team that the GreyWolves will face tonight is similar to a farm team under the Heath, the Perth Heat, a pro team in Australia, part of the Australian Baseball League, with many of their roster being comprised of players from all around the world. Now, as for that history lesson I was alluding to, the Perth Heat stem from the Australian Baseball League, which is much like any other professional baseball leagues all around the world, with teams playing home and away series during a regular season, playing to compete in the playoffs, the winner of which being crowned champions. However, the original league was founded in 1989 and lasted until 1999. And during the original baseball league, the Perth Heat were the second most successful team in the league, winning the title twice and finishing runner-up a further 3 more times. The Heat were resurrected in 2005, competing in the Claxton Shield, a national tournament that includes teams from all over Australia, before eventually rejoining the new Australian Baseball League that was put together in 2009. Now, the league is governed by the Australian Baseball Federation, the ABF, and is jointly funded by the ABF, along with Major League Baseball, actually, and the Australian federal government. So the ABL is jointly owned by the MLB and a 75% share, as well as the ABF, again, the Australian Baseball Federation, by a 25% margin. Now, rather than following the more traditional models of franchises being owned privately by individuals or organizations, the league is the owner of each team. Now, as for this specific roster put together, again, I mentioned sort of a farm team, and that does mean that the age ranges are going to be a bit wide here. So the youngest being 16 years old here on the Perth Heat, and 20 being the oldest, with the hometowns ranging from all over Australia all the way to Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. The combination of Steve Fish along with Jeremy Barnes, who's the head coach of the Heat, and I'm sure who we'll reference tonight, brought this team together with the Fish scouting talent on the western part of Australia. So Steve Fish was tasked with getting the western states and territories of Australia and recruiting talent from there, along with some international talent, like I mentioned, a couple of players from Dubai. And then Barnes was tasked with recruiting from the rest of the states over in Australia. Now, Perth itself, I believe geographically in the country of Australia, is in the bottom left. So essentially Fish was getting the western part of that area, so more local, and then Jeremy Barnes was tasked with some more long-range recruiting trips. Now, actually, Fish has direct ties to Oregon, as he's originally from Portland, and in fact attended Jesuit High School just outside of Portland, and actually is currently a scout for the Red Sox, so kind of has had dual roles here, as it seems like we're just about set for the introductions as the GreyWolves get set to take the field here at Volcanoes Stadium. So we're going to take a break in between here in the national anthem, and we'll get right back with you with starting lineups coming up next here on Gresham GreyWolves Live, as that will conclude our pregame show. We'll get on to the real thing here at Volcanoes Stadium in Salem, Keizer, Oregon. A very special edition of Gresham GreyWolves Baseball brought to you here at Volcanoes Stadium. Again, I'm Evan Gettings. I'll be with you all night along with my broadcast partner Fletcher Like for the middle innings. However, we're going to take another break here and come back with first pitch here at Osland Field. Don't go anywhere.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is at home of Gresham GreyWolves. where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
If you are looking for an award-winning institution of higher education that is touching lives in many ways, look no further than Mount Hood Community College. For 50 years, MHCC has been an economic engine that brings hundreds of millions of dollars into our community, while also providing great educational services to area residents. No matter what you're interested in, MHCC has a place for you. To learn more, visit our website at mhcc.edu. Mount Hood Community College, transforming lives, building communities.
Bum, ba-da-dum, da-da-dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com. Live from Osland Field at Mount Hood Community College, this is Gresham GreyWolves Baseball, presented by Active Family Chiropractic, Edward Jones, Gresham Ford, Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, the Gresham Police Officers Association, Lucky Pint, Metro East Web Academy, Northwest Accounting Partners, Olympic Gym, Riverview Community Bank, and State Farm. Gresham GreyWolves Baseball starts now.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of Gresham GreyWolves Baseball. I'm Evan Giddings, coming to you here in Keizer, Oregon at Volcanoes Stadium, home to the Salem Keizer Volcanoes, a minor league single-A ball club for the San Francisco Giants, as GreyWolves get set to take on the Perth Heat, a member of the Australian Baseball League, in an international exhibition matchup. Now entering play, the GreyWolves are 7-2 to begin the second half of their season and currently sit atop the Southern Division in the West Coast League. They have officially taken the field here at Volcanoes Stadium, where the Perth Heat just about ready to come to the plate against Brett Ganaway, the right-hander on the mound for the Gresham GreyWolves, a 6'3", 200-pound right-hander from Columbia University, going to be a junior coming in, making his fifth start on the season, sixth appearance. And as for the lineups for the Perth, it's going to be Hamish Smith batting first, number 13 playing second base, batting second and playing shortstop, number 75 Julian Perimanoff, batting third and playing catcher, number 10 Cameron Tilley, batting cleanup and playing left field, number 55 Kai Vasilakis, batting fifth and DHing this evening for the Heat, number 7 Mitch Newborn, batting sixth playing first base, number 44 Grant Perry, batting seventh and playing third base, number 34 Kyle Pike, batting eighth and playing center field, number 46 Dan Mermel, and batting ninth and playing right field, number 6 Sandon Isle. as the first pitch of the ball game on the way here is a fastball on the outside corner for strike one here from Ganaway. Now Ganaway so far this season is throwing 21 innings, just 3 walks. So a guy that's going to be in and around the strike zone as he now gets a ground ball over the right side, picked up by the first baseman there, Nick Snyder, on his way to the bag, quickly one away here to begin the ball game. So Ganaway, fastball, changeup, curve. Like I mentioned, going to be in and around the strike zone. Has only handed out 3 free bases this season. And both of those came in none of his starts, I should say. Yakima Valley was his worst start of the season, although it was a bit deceptive. Gave up 6 runs, only 2 of them earned, and that was where he walked 2 of those 3 batters. He now fires in a fastball for strike one here against Permanoff. However, in his last outing, able to pick up his first victory of the season against Wenatchee as he now bounces this one, going to get all the way back to the screen here to even the count at 1-1. Came out of bullpen in that one as he got the W. 3 scoreless innings, and I believe an extra inning victory for the GreyWolves. Thus, this one misses just low and outside here, 2 balls and a strike. Allowed 2 hits through his 3 innings of work. No walks, of course. 1 strikeout there for Ganaway as he now buries another fastball picked off the dirt that time by the catcher, Matt Cairo. As for the defensive alignments for the GreyWolves, left to right in the outfield, it'll be Drew Curtis, Jeff Mitchell Jr., the All-Star, along with Ryan Smith, who's not in the ball game tonight, although we will hear from him in the 3rd inning, going to be in the booth, along with Ben Klenke in right field. Is now this one a 5-pitch walk as he misses low with a fastball, and Permanoff begins getting on base here for the Heat in the 1st inning with a 5-pitch walk. So now Cameron Tilley will come to the plate, catcher for the Heat. Actually, I believe I spoke with him before the ball game. Managed to get down there on the field and have a couple of conversations with some of these Aussies. As now a pickoff attempt over first base. No tag there from Snyder. Ganaway, so far this season, really has had his ups and downs. Started off strong and looked like he was going to be a staple in the starting rotation for the GreyWolves. As the first pitch on the way here is a fastball right there at the knees, 0-1. After pitching 1 inning in the exhibition, the non-conference league games against Thurston County back on the 3rd, he got his first start against Yakima Valley. Went 6 strong innings, only allowed 1 earned run, although got the no decision as his team ended up losing that contest 4-3. Now they came to the Yakima Valley Pippins, who currently are trailing the GreyWolves in the second half division here in the West Coast League, trailing them by just 1 game as this pickoff attempt not nearly in time. Permanoff back in with a head-first slide. Also in that game, he struck out a season-high 6, and after that, had an arguably equally as good start on the 17th against the Kelowna Falcons as he now buries a strike on the outside edge here, 0-2 to Tilley. Went 7 innings, 2 runs, just 1 of them earned, however, scattered 4 hits and struck out 4. And, of course, in Ganaway form, did not walk a batter. Now another pickoff attempt. This one a little closer, but still in safely. However, after that, it seemed like his starts just began to go downhill. And I'm talking about the June 22nd start as this one in the dirt gets away from Cairo, bounces off to his left, and that'll allow the runner Permanoff to move up to second base on the wild pitch. And so it's officially ruled a wild pitch here in the broadcast booth, normally filled by Bill Harrington and Andy Humphrey. However, I'm glad I'm getting my shot in here. Broadcasting for the Gresham GreyWolves. Of course, those are the broadcasters for the Salem Keizer Volcanoes. This one is tapped off to the left, out of play, foul. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Check that, 2-2. So a runner on second, 1 out. The second baseman, Bark, is keeping him close. As the shortstop, Jack Johnson, playing off the bag. Playing Tilley to pull as the 1-2 pitch now on the way. Breaking ball, outside corner, ring him up. Good spot there from Ganaway. And there's 2 outs here. The first strikeout for the Columbia University product. 2 away here in the first. And like I mentioned, coming into the game carrying a 3.0 ERA, and early on in the season was lower than that. After his first 3 outings, had just a 1.39. Did go up a bit in his start against Cowlitz at Cowlitz. Didn't even make it out of the third inning. Only went 2, allowed 5 runs, 3 of them earned, scattering 6 hits. And his first walk of the season came in that start as well. As now this one, a backhanded block there by Matt Caro. Nice pick there off the chalk to the right side. And it's 1-0 here to Kai Vasilakis. Playing left field this evening for the Heat. From Canberra, Australia, as he now swings and misses, but this one again gets away from Caro. Unable to keep it in front that time. That's going to allow the runner to move up again. So a couple of wild pitches here in back-to-back at-bats. First one in the at-bat to Tilley. Ended up going down swinging, and now here to Vasilakis. 2-0. Or rather, 1 ball and 1 strike here, as the count was evened on the swing. But now with the runner on third base, Ganaway's going to have to try and keep that runner there. Breaking ball right there on the outside corner. A good spot right there. That was, in fact, the same pitch he used to strike out Tilley, the previous batter before. A lot of power coming from the tall Vasilakis. As now this one again, waved on and missed. Breaking ball had him out front, completely fooled. So Brett Ganaway, after surrendering a walk, allowing that walk to get into scoring position off a couple of wild pitches, strikes out back-to-back batters to end the top of the first. As we'll head to the bottom of the inning, Jeff Mitchell Jr., Jordan Barkis, and Jack Johnson with the first 3 up for the GreyWolves. We'll get you the rest of the ad order when we come back here on Gresham GreyWolves Baseball Live. If you are looking for an award-winning institution of higher education that is touching lives in many ways, look no further than Mount Hood Community College. For 50 years, MHCC has been an economic engine that brings hundreds of millions of dollars into our community, while also providing great educational services to area residents. No matter what you're interested in, MHCC has a place for you. To learn more, visit our website at mhcc.edu. Mount Hood Community College, transforming lives, building communities.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham GreyWolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
And so now as we return to you here in the bottom of the first inning, it'll be Jeffrey Mitchell Jr. due up first for the Gresham GreyWolves. They'll be facing the left-hander Josh Hendrickson for the Perth Heat, all the way from Australia. Of course, have come along and played a multitude of teams in the state of Oregon. Is now the first pitch on the way from Hendrickson is a fastball right down the heart of the plate, 0-1. I believe, according to their head coach, Jeremy Barnes, as this one misses low, ball 1. They played a variety of Legion teams all around the state of Oregon. They've also played a couple of members of the West Coast League as well. They played the Corvallis Knights, the Yakima Valley Pippins, as this one misses way high and outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. So I competed against the Pippins as well as also the Cowlitz Black Bears, which I believe was the last team they played. A total of 28 games now, or this will be number 28, as this fastball misses just off the edge there, 3-1. Have played 28 games in the last 3 weeks, as this one is sprayed back off the screen there by Mitchell Jr. Got a pitch to hit there, as the count now runs full. And generally, according to Barnes, really the goal of this team is to get some summer competition for the Perth Heat down in Australia. Not to say that they don't have great competition down there during the summers. This one swung on and missed, chased a high fastball there, did Mitchell Jr., and he's down on strikes for the first out for the GreyWolves here in the bottom of the first, bringing Jordan Barkis to the plate. And to key on that last point, not necessarily stating that the country of Australia doesn't have the competition or talent. However, getting some international competition, he believes, is key to a lot of these players' success in terms of becoming better baseball players and especially preparing themselves for what many of them would be in college. A lot of them are a lot younger in high school all around the world as Barkis now shows bunt, pulls it back as he takes a fastball outside 1-0. And also many of them with aspirations to come over to the States to play baseball at some point, I'm sure, as well. As this one now, a drag bunt attempt over the right side towards the second baseman Foreman. He's not going to have a play on it. Tries a glove flip, but not nearly in time as Jordan Barkis starting this game off with 1 out and a bunt single over the right side. A great push bunt there, directly where you want it. Past the stretched arms of any type of starting pitcher, although a left-hander in Hendrickson falls off towards the third base side. But nonetheless, Barkis able to take advantage there of the second baseman, Hamish Foreman, maybe playing a bit too far back, and Barkis also utilizing his speed there. As now Jack Johnson will come to the plate. First pitch on the way to Johnson, a first pitch swing as he grounds this one through the left side. That's going to be a base knock. Barkis will head up to second base as the left fielder, Vasilakis, will play this one back in. But nonetheless, back-to-back base hits here for the GreyWolves with 1 out. So Johnson now at first base, Barkis on second. And that'll be the cleanup hitter, Nick Snyder, to the plate. As for the rest of the lineup for the GreyWolves, behind Snyder, batting fifth, it'll be the third baseman, Will Matheson. Batting sixth, the left fielder, Drew Curtis. Batting seventh, the right fielder, Ben Clanky. In fact, making his very first start out in right field. As now the first pitch on the way to Snyder is a fastball taken through the heart of the plate, 0-1. So behind Clanky, it'll be Ty Wyatt. He's the DH this evening for Gresham. He's batting eighth. And batting ninth and doing the catching for Gresham, it'll be Matt Cairo. So now Hendrickson looks back to second base, now kicks and fires. Big curveball there, a little low. Fake back pick attempt over to first base, but nobody's home. First baseman Grant Kelly obviously not on the same page as his catcher Tilly. And so a 1-1 count here to Nick Snyder. 1-1 on the way. Big swing and a miss there. Might have gone upstairs there. Chased the ball as Nick Snyder now down in the count, 1-2. So Hendrickson, a tall frame, about 6'4", 210 pounds. Again, these players, we don't have their ages specifically for each of them, as this one a curveball low, blocked in the dirt there by Tilly to even it up at 2-2. However, with the ages in terms of 16 to 20 years old, Hendrickson, a large and looming character on this field, definitely stands out. And certainly looks like he could be a college product quite some time soon. So now the 2-2 pitch on the way here to Snyder, sprayed off to the right, out of play, foul. And we'll do it again. As in fact, this Perth Heat roster, I guess when I was counting earlier, it was only comprised of 17 players. And I mentioned earlier how this their 28th game in just over 3 weeks is now the 2-2 on the way. Fly ball out to deep right field. Going back is Isle, and this one is gone. Nick Snyder, big fly. Oppo Taco out to right field, just beyond the Atro Health Plan sign out there in right field. And that one fooled me. It looked like it wasn't struck well off the bat, but kept carrying and kept going. And this one now a 3-0 ball game in favor of the GreyWolves. That's Nick Snyder's second home run of the season. 3-0 ball game here as Jack Johnson along with Jordan Barkis come in to score. So the GreyWolves offense strikes early and often, has been doing so here to begin the second half, and true to form here to begin this ball game. So after a strikeout to start the contest, 3 base hits in a row, concluded by the 3-run home run from Snyder. Is now big swing and a miss there for Matheson, 0-1. Snyder, who coming into the contest was just batting .200, collecting his 7th, 8th, and 9th RBIs as well on that one swing, as this pitch misses low here. Ball and a strike. And just his 11th hit in 51 at-bats this season, so good for Snyder. This one roped over to the left side, through the backhand of Paramanoff into left field. We're going to wait for the official ruling on that. And in fact is ruled an error, E6 there for Paramanoff, so Will Matheson reaches on the air by the Heat shortstop, and the rally continues. Trying to start something going here in the bottom of the first, or restarting, as they already have 3 runs off of one swing, and now Drew Curtis will step to the plate. First pitch on the way to Curtis is a fastball spread off to the right, but going to get out of play, foul off the facing of the beer garden there. In fact, one of the newer additions for the Salem Keizer Volcanoes, I believe. In this ball game, Justin Barkas talked about how he plans to sort of staff this game from an offensive and defense side of this one. Out front, Curtis, a diving play by the third baseman Pike, but gets through. Going to get in down the left field line as Vasilakos will be over to pick it up and play it in. But another base knock for the GreyWolves, now 4 in 5 at-bats, and a total of 5 base runners here in the first inning. This one looking like it could be over early as Ben Klenke will come to the plate with a runner in scoring position and 1 out. And like I was saying, Barkas staffing both the offensive and pitching sides of this ball game, so Ganaway likely only going to go a couple innings tonight. We'll see. My guess would be about 4 or 5 pitchers throughout this ball game for Gresham, and probably a lot of substitutions on the offensive side as well. Probably just trying to get his team some at-bats and a couple of looks here as now Klenke takes strike 1. In fact, I believe I have the exact list around here somewhere. As now the second pitch on the way here. Fastball fouled back off and to the left out of play. No balls and 2 strikes here to Klenke. So it appears Ganaway will get the first and the second, followed by the left-hander Kyle Scott in the third and the fourth. And then a couple of new pitchers for the GreyWolves. So this is something that has affected not only their rotation, but will affect their bullpen as well, as the 0-2 on the way is fouled back off the screen. Staying alive here is Klenke, and we'll do it again 0-2. But David Wallum, the 6'7" right-hander from Lynn Benton Community College, recently signed to Washington State to become a Cougar, and that's kudos to him. However, it means that because of their regulations with the amount of innings that he pitches over the summer, or their requirement for him, he's already filled that void as the 0-2 pitch now on the way. Off speed, runs a bit high and inside here for the first ball of the at-bat to Klenke. So nonetheless, the GreyWolves will be out or without Wallum as he's been shut down for the remainder of this summer. Wallum along with a couple other GreyWolves as now Hendrickson checks back to second. Couple of peaks as now he fires big looping breaking ball in for strike 3. Klenke takes it right down the middle of the plate. Might have fooled him a little bit right there as the backward strikeout will now bring the designated hitter Ty Wyatt to the plate. So David Wallum allowed, along with Corbin University right-hander Rylan Luchek, who had been absolutely dominant up until that Wednesday night start, gave up a total of 4 earned runs in that game. And to put this in perspective, had only given up a total of 2 earned runs through the previous 21 innings that he had pitched. And so now with 2 outs, runners on second and first, Wyatt will take a strike just around the knees there, 0-1. So as a result, they're going to be bringing in some new arms, and we're going to get a new look at a couple of these guys. Robinson along with Huddleston will pitch the 5th, 6th, and 7th, kind of depending on how those innings go in terms of the effectiveness, as now Wyatt takes a big breaking ball in for strike 2. And Wyatt making his 14th appearance, only just a couple of starts, however, as we've mainly seen him as a pinch hitter and has been pretty effective coming off the bench late in ball games. Going to have to shorten up here, though, with 2 strikes. There's now another breaking ball taken, strike 3, backdoor curveball on the outside edge. And Hendrickson gets back-to-back strikeouts, much in the fashion of Brett Ganaway, to retire the side. However, the GreyWolves do strike for 3. After a couple singles from Barkas and Jack Johnson, Nick Snyder goes deep fly out to right field here at Volcano Stadium, and we'll go to the second inning here in Keizer, Oregon. We're going to have a special guest when we come back. I believe Josh Adams, the outfielder for Gresham, will be joining us here in the booth. And so you don't want to go anywhere here on Gresham GreyWolves Live as they have the lead 3-0. If you are looking for an award-winning institution of higher education that is touching lives in many ways, look no further than Mount Hood Community College. For 50 years, MHCC has been an economic engine that brings hundreds of millions of dollars into our community, while also providing great educational services to area residents. No matter what you're interested in, MHCC has a place for you. To learn more, visit our website at mhcc.edu. Mount Hood Community College, transforming lives, building communities.
Bum ba da dum da da dum. You are on a quest full of danger and excitement, your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum ba dum bum bum bum.
And now as we begin the second inning here at Volcano Stadium, a very special guest on the broadcast, outfielder Josh Adams for the Gresham GreyWolves, originally from University of California, Santa Barbara, so actually a part of that College World Series team. As the first pitch on the way is a strike here to the left fielder, rather the DH, Mitch Newborn. So Josh, how's it going?
It's going good. It's exciting to be up here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and of course Josh has become a focal part of the offense for the GreyWolves as this pitch again in for a strike, 0-2. And really, you started out a bit slow, and I think you talked about that earlier a couple weeks ago, how about that adjustment to wood, and apparently has been coming along pretty nicely.
Yeah, it's been good. We played late in the season all the way to, I think, late June and middle to late June. And, it's just, switching off, turning gears, a little different pitching and just adjusting to it.
It's a nice strikeout there for Ganaway, now 3 in a row, all swinging. And how was that experience, getting to go to the College World Series? Obviously something that everyone as a spectator wants to go to, but not many get to experience that as a college athlete. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's definitely really special. I mean, one thing's for sure, everyone knows your name. Even if you're a guy that never plays, if you're on the travel roster, people know you and will come out of the wet works for your autograph and everything. It's an awesome experience. I mean, we became the local favorite, which was really extraordinary, so we had a lot of fans.
And in particular, one ball game I remember I was watching on TV, and probably that everyone, including yourself, remembers the game against Louisville to actually send you to Omaha, the walk-off grand slam. And I believe it was the Super Regionals, correct?
Yeah, it was Super Regionals.
Yeah. How was that? I mean, everyone was.
It's actually pretty crazy because there was like 20-1 odds that they'd win the whole College World Series.
Wow.
So they were a definite favorite, and we were the underdog, and we just. The first game we did really, really well. We played well, and we beat them. And that game, we took it right out of their hands. I mean, Sam Cohen, congrats to him. I mean, he hit that ball. That's, I hate to say it, but he'll probably never have a moment as exciting in his career ever again.
As this ground ball up the middle, grabbed by Johnson onto first base for the second out of the inning. And, yeah, I mean, that's the moment that every kid, as a child, everyone thinks about that moment coming to the plate with 2 outs, bases loaded. Maybe not necessarily being down 3 and hit the walk-off to literally go up by 1 to win the ball game. But, I mean, everyone just seemed so elated after the game. I think Cohen said he didn't even see the pitch when it was coming down low and in. And especially against a closer like that who I believe was a top pick, throwing upwards of around 96, 97 miles an hour.
Yep.
I don't even know how you game plan for.
He actually was up to 102 against us.
Oh, jeez.
One of the early fastballs Sam fouled off. He was a 92-mile-an-hour changeup, which is hard.
That's cheddar.
But he actually was interesting. He hit a fastball. He fouled a fastball way late, and for some reason the guy wanted to throw a changeup, and he paid for it. But yeah, Funkhausen's really good. He was an All-American. He just, bad pitch to a lucky player, really.
Yeah, and unfortunately weren't able to get it all. But, of course, the furthest that your team has gone in the history of the university, how does it feel being a part of that team, knowing that you guys essentially made history for the Gauchos?
Oh, it's really special. I mean, when Chex recruited me originally in Oregon and then continued on when he took the head coaching job at UCSB, he, said, I want you to be part of history. I want you guys, our class, to be make it the farthest. And this is supposed to be a quote-unquote rebuilding year for us. And, we shocked a lot of people going to the College World Series and going 5-0 until we got to the College World Series in postseason.
I appreciate that. Again, Josh Adams, he'll be with us for the bottom half of the inning as well as we go to the bottom of the second here at Volcanoes Stadium. We're going to take a quick break, and that's Josh Adams, outfielder for the Gresham GreyWolves, going to stay along with us. 3-0 GreyWolves. Don't go anywhere.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is at home of Gresham GreyWolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
If you are looking for an award-winning institution of higher education that is touching lives in many ways, look no further than Mount Hood Community College. For 50 years, MHCC has been an economic engine that brings hundreds of millions of dollars into our community, while also providing great educational services to area residents. No matter what you're interested in, MHCC has a place for you. To learn more, visit our website at mhcc.edu. Mount Hood Community College, transforming lives, building communities. And so now back here on Gresham GreyWolves Baseball Live. Josh Adams, an outfielder for the GreyWolves, in here in the booth with us as Matt Keizer stepped to the plate against Josh Hendrickson for the Perth Heat. And coming into this ball game in an international competition, have you ever experienced or been a part of anything like this with a team coming from overseas to play your squad?
I actually didn't play one, but before I left high school, I played in a little pony thing just right before I left for school. And we were supposed to play Taiwan or something if we went to the Pony World Series or something. We lost,
Yeah.
But that was the only other time that I've ever heard about it or experienced it.
I think this Heat team has played multiple other Northwest League squads. And speaking of the Northwest League, you guys are sitting atop the Southern Division in the second half. Really have been able to turn it around. I know you came on just before the end of the first half, but what kind of differences have you seen in this team, especially beginning that second half, now 7-2?
It's interesting you say that. When I first got here, we were in a lull. It was kind of whatever, we're doing okay,
Yeah.
Not doing much. But, I came in and, I played right away and I had some bad games. And, I think right when I started coming on doing better, I think we kind of took off. I just think it was lucky timing. I mean,
Yeah.
Everyone's doing well. Ryan Smith's doing really well. Jeffrey's doing well. I mean, our pitching staff's been great. Gabe, even though he wasn't great yesterday, still only held him to 3 runs.
Yeah.
So, that gives us a really, really good chance. We showed this past weekend that we can compete with those teams. I mean, yes, they're really good on paper, and they're very, very good, but we beat them 2 out of 3, and they're the number 1 team in the whole thing. So
Yeah, up until that point, had
yes.
only lost 5 times,
Correct.
and 3 of those came to start the season. So essentially, after that 19-game winning streak, which you yourself were not a part of, but the GreyWolves were effectively 25-2 coming into that series, and you guys took 2 out of 3 from them. So Matt Keizer with the walk is now Mitchell Jr. will step to the plate, along with Ryan Smith, 2 of the All-Stars for the GreyWolves. This one out-of-play foul. And so within that series, you yourself had a couple of big plays at the plate, 2 majestic home runs out to right field, especially the one in the third game. I remember calling up in the booth at Austin Field, back up in Gresham. You looked like you knew that one was gone right off the bat, and that's putting it nicely.
Yeah, that's I usually don't get that fired up. I try to act like I've been there before, but
Deservedly so, though, in the series and the way it was going.
Yeah. I mean, it was great, and I might have been low over the top with what I did, but it was a big home run against a really, really, really good team, and it was huge for us. At that point, that put us up 4, and a 4-run deficit's a lot to overcome when you're the other team, and it was kind of the staple because the coach has been screaming at me all game from the dugout, and he appealed a thing where he wanted to bring in a pitcher right after the guy was getting ready to start the inning. He tried to bring him in right after he finished his warm-up pitches, which delayed us last night half an hour.
Yeah,
And it was and it was just, I like to call it a little baseball karma, little icing on the cake, if you will.
Yeah, no, that was a great moment, and Greg Merritt, the head coach for the Harbor Cats. I talked to Justin Barkis, your head coach, after the game a little bit about it as Mitchell goes down swinging here for the second time in the first out of this inning. But, I mean, really, he talked about the entire series. It seemed like Merritt wasn't necessarily a part of, I guess, the fiasco as much in Game 1. But as the series picked up, his intensity certainly did, and then kind of just compounded in Game 3. I mean, whether it was throwing a bucket in the dugout, cussing at his players on the field, it just seemed like Merritt was maybe a little too much into that ball game, and so I was personally glad you were able to deliver that kind of nail in the coffin, if you will.
And there's some stuff said after the game when we were shaking hands, and I've been around. Coach Chegas is an extremely respected coach, and a guy that is full of high class, and carries himself with a certain era, but not too much to where it's over the top. I mean, I just think that guy is very unprofessional.
Yeah.
And as someone who college kids are looking up to, I just think he could have been better.
Yeah.
I just don't agree with some of the things he did, and it is what it is. I mean, he's obviously done a good job with what he's done, so I respect him for that, and I congratulate him for that. But I just think there's a better way to handle young men.
Yeah, and especially in the context of this series, I mean, you guys beat them straight up. It wasn't like you're employing any, for lack of better terms, Bush methods. You guys played the game in a respectful manner and were respectful to the game of baseball. And I think by the end of the series, just kind of made him look like a bit of a sore loser, as now there's 2 outs, back-to-back strikeouts, Mitchell Jr. and now Jordan Barkis with Johnson coming to the plate. But throw all that aside, I mean, regardless, you guys were able to beat, arguably, and up until that point on paper, the best team in the West Coast League. And I think that speaks volumes as to where you guys have come from as a team that was 5 games under 500 in the first half, one on that little road streak. And now, I mean, I assume the confidence is as high as it's ever been.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's especially good that we're hitting this All-Star break. Today a lot of guys are getting to play that don't usually play, which is great because – we're going to need them going down the stretch if we want to play for a while. I mean, yeah, we're hot right now, and I hope it stays, the whole time. But the fact is we're going to hit some rough patches. And we need to have guys that come off the bench that can get it done for us.
As this one, a swing and a miss. So 3 strikeouts in a row here as Henderson K's the side after allowing a walk to Matt Cairo. Again, Josh Adams here in the booth. Thanks for being on with us, man, and I hope you had a good time in here.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Thanks so much for having me.
I appreciate it. Again, that's outfielder for the Gresham GreyWolves, Jack Johnson. As we take a break on Gresham GreyWolves Baseball Live, GreyWolves are up 3-0.
Bum, ba-da-dum, da-da-dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
And so now we come back to you here to begin the 3rd inning here at Volcanoes Stadium. Again, another special edition of Gresham GreyWolves baseball as we're down in Keizer, Oregon, playing on the field of a minor league professional ball club, the Salem Keizer Volcanoes, as the Gresham GreyWolves are taking on the Perth Heat all the way from Australia. Again, Perth down in the lower western region of Australia, as Dan Mermel will come to the plate against the left-hander Kyle Scott. Now, we talked about how this game would be staffed, in a sense, by Justin Barkas, and continuing to do so here as the left-hander now fires a first-pitch fastball and popped up out beyond our heads here, 0-1. Just finished up an interview with Josh Adams. You can go back and rewatch that throughout the entire second inning, as I believe we're going to have another guest in the booth here soon, or hopefully later in the ball game, Ryan Smith, the all-star outfielder, primarily playing center field for the GreyWolves. Is this his lace down the third base line? A diving effort by Matheson. Can't come up with it, as Curtis will have to pick it up. Fires it in. One hop over to second base, and it is not in time, although a lot closer than I believe Mermel thought it was going to be, as he is in with a stand-up double to begin this third inning. So Kyle Scott, 6'1", 165-pound left-hander, going to be a sophomore at Holy Names University over in Oakland, California, although originally from Petaluma. Making his fifth appearance out of the bullpen, all of them have been. An 0-1 record, a 6.42 ERA, and 7 innings pitched. So Scott having not seen much time, although came on strong on July 11th in that extra inning battle. Unfortunately fell to Wenatchee 5-4. Pitched 2/3 scoreless innings, surrendering 2 hits. Had a couple of strikeouts as well, as this slow breaking ball bends it too far inside. 1-0. So now Sandon Isle, the right fielder for the Heat tonight, coming to the plate, wearing number 6. That appears to be one of the younger members of this Heat. Of course, ages ranging from 16 to 20 years old. The average age, I believe, is 18, so around the senior age in high school. Is this one misses too far inside for ball 2. And in fact, Scott has really only had one bad outing this season. It came back on June 10th, and probably the reason why his statistics are a bit skewed to this point. Went 1 1/3, ended up getting the loss against Yakima Valley, the Pippins, in that second series of Northwest League play, rather West Coast League play, as this one misses too far inside. Now 3-0 here to Isle. In that ball game, went 1 1/3, allowed 5 earned runs, and those are the only runs he's allowed the entirety of the season. The rest, so if you cut out that 1 1/3, has pitched 5 2/3 of scoreless baseball, as he now misses too far inside. So a 4-pitch walk here to Isle. Runners on second and first. Not necessarily commanding the ball, I'm sure, where he likes it, but on the brighter side, does set himself up for a double play ball. As now the leadoff hitter, Hamish Foreman, will come to the plate. He's already 0 for 1 as he hit a ground ball over to the right side back in the first inning. That was taken by Nick Snyder for the first out of the ball game. Now showing bunt is Foreman. Sets up for the sacrifice bunt, and right back to the pitcher, Scott. He'll pick it up. Is going to go to second base, and the throw's a bit wide, and he's safe. In with a foot-first slide. Jack Johnson appears like he's wondering if the umpire thought the throw beat them, because it appeared like it was a bang-bang play, certainly at second base, although it looked like Johnson, with that stretch, was able to keep his foot on the bag, and it appeared the ball beat him, but no, says the field umpire, as that will go down as a fielder's choice for Foreman, as Kyle Scott chose to go to second base. Unfortunately, could not get the out there. And now Paramanoff will come to the plate. In his first at-bat, he walked in a 3-1 count as he takes a first pitch change-up here to low, 1-0. So as for the rest of Scott's outings, have been pretty good against Wenatchee back on June 24th. Went 3 full innings, allowed 2 runs, though neither of them were earned. As this one, big swing and a miss there. A nice back foot breaking ball there from Scott to even the count at 1-1. Allowed 3 hits, a couple of walks, as well as 2 strikeouts. I think the one area that has somewhat hurt him, and certainly did against Yakima, besides the 5 hits, but throughout the season he's been a bit inconsistent with that command as he misses high and outside here, 2 balls and a strike. Has surrendered 2 or more walks in his last 2 outings. Also surrendered a walk in his very first outing of the season against Thurston County. He now buries a breaking ball in for a strike. Cairo looked like he was going to get down to block that pitch, but nonetheless apparently able to get the frame in there. And now 2-2. So a 3-0 ball game in favor of the GreyWolves, as Nick Snyder provided all 3 on one swing back in the first inning. Went big fly out to right field as the 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball roped down the third baseline and just fair. That's going to get into the corner as Drew Curtis will have to give a chase. 1 run will score, 2 runs will score, and it looks like they're going to send Foreman all the way from first base. Relay throw coming in from Johnson to the plate, and it cannot be grabbed by Cairo. Kicks away off a base runner there that had already scored, and that will allow now Paramanoff to go to third base. So a bases clearing RBI double there, although ends up at third. We'll see if the error is charged to in that situation. And I'm assuming an E6 is the call. It could be on the catcher. So Jack Johnson was the man that made the throw, so it should be an E6. And that is the official call. So he goes to third base on the error. However, 3 runs come across, so we have ourselves a tie ball game here at Volcano Stadium as this one roped into left field. That's going to get down for a base hit just in front of the left fielder Curtis, as that will bring in Paramanoff, as just like that, Cameron Tilley delivers an RBI single there to give the Heat a 4-3 lead here. So after Ganaway exits the game, Scott comes in and unfortunately has given up the lead here in this top of the third. So plenty of action going on here to begin this ball game. The GreyWolves struck for 3 in the first to start it out. And now after a couple of scoreless innings from the Heat, the bats have finally awoken. First pitch on the way now here to Vasilakis is taken low and inside, ball 1. And now the second baseman, Barkis, will head to the mound, give a couple of words of encouragement to his left-hander. At this point, Scott just needs to get back in the zone. And so actually it appears we have a pinch hitter, number 29, Nicholas Hurst. He will be in for Vasilakis. So Vasilakis' night is finished at this point. So Hurst in, a right-hander. Has him listed here as a catcher as well as a utility player, so we'll probably see him all around, likely in left field replacing Vasilakis as he takes ball 2. So 5 hits for the GreyWolves, 3 hits for the Perth, all of them coming here in this inning. A double by Mermel to start off this top of the third. Then after a walk from Isle is the pitch now on the way. Misses low, again blocked by Cairo in the dirt, 3-0. A fielder's choice from Foreman that essentially went wrong. Scott tried to turn 2, went to second base, and Johnson, who I believed was on the bag. Apparently the throw came a bit late. So the runner on second, Isle, beat the throw, as this one, a fastball that catches the outside edge for strike 1. That loaded the bases for Julian Paramanoff, the shortstop for the Heat, who cleared the bases with a double just out of the reach there of Drew Curtis down the left field line. So now the 3-1 on the way. Big breaking ball. Does catch the outside edge. Is maybe a bit of a cut fastball or a slider. Nonetheless, a backdoor with late movement right there from Scott. And a good pitch there as Hurst thought he had ball 4. Was walking his way down to first base as he even flipped the bat. Nonetheless, we'll have to re-grab the lumber. Going to get back in the box here. So a full count. Payoff pitch on the way. Runners on the move. This one fought back off the screen there, and he stays alive as we'll do it again. So again, not much information on this particular Perth Heat team. However, the professional Perth Heat stem from the Australian Baseball League, which is much like many other pro leagues around the world, with teams playing home and away series during a regular season, playing to compete in the playoffs, the winner of which being crowned champions. And the original league was founded in 1989 and lasted until 1999, which the Heat were a part of. And during the original ABL, Perth was the second most successful team in the league, winning the title twice and a runner-up 3 times. This one, a slow grounder to Johnson. He'll come in, throw on the run over to first base in time for the first out of this inning. As Tilley moves up to second base, a nice safe play there made by Johnson. Understanding just a 1-run lead, especially early in this ball game, plenty of time. At this point, want to get outs and allow your pitcher to not have to do as much work. As we saw earlier in this inning, when Foreman hit that comebacker to Scott, chose maybe to take a daring chance, go to second base, try and turn 2, and unfortunately not even able to get 1 out. As now another changeup here, misses low in the dirt, ball 1 to Mitch Newborn. The right-hander, a designated hitter this evening for the Heat. Matheson hugging that third base line very closely. Trying not to give up another base hit down that line is the pitch on the way. And the fastball misses outside 2-0. So Scott unable to get ahead of these Heat hitters. Now as for the rest of what I'd call a bit of an ABL history lesson, the Perth Heat were resurrected in 2005 and they competed in the Claxton Shield, as this one is fouled back off the screen here for the first strike of the at-bat. Now the Claxton Shield is a national tournament that includes teams from all over Australia. And then after that, Perth eventually rejoined the new Australian Baseball League that was kind of put back together. That came back in 2009. So 7 years in addition to the previous 10 from 89 to 99. A very long and rich history here for the Perth Heat as this breaking ball blocked by Keizer for the third ball. Now this league, the ABL, is governed by the Australian Baseball Federation and is jointly funded by the ABF along with Major League Baseball and the Australian federal government. In fact, is jointly owned and a majority holder, of course, is the MLB, 75% shareholding, as now Scott misses low with a fastball too far below the knees, and that goes for ball 4. So a couple of free bases handed out this inning. The last one came to Sandon Isle as he ended up coming around to score. Now the 8th batter of the inning will come to the plate with just one out and runners on second and first. It appears like the GreyWolves, at least according to Justin Barkis, are going to stick to the game plan of staffing it as it were. So Scott, who is, I believe, slated to pitch these next 2 innings, the 3rd and the 4th, he will likely finish those no matter the outcome at this point. Already given up 4 runs as he now misses a bit too far inside with a fastball there. 1-0 here to Grant Carey. First baseman in his last at-bat. Grounded out to the shortstop Johnson as he's 0 for 1. So now Scott kicks and fires. Fastball too far high and outside there. Cannot seem to command the strike zone as well as he would have liked to. In fact, the last batter he was ahead to was the leadoff batter of the inning in Dan Mermel. Doubled in an 0-1 count. Since then, he got a 4-pitch walk to Isle. First pitch swinging was Foreman. Into that fielder's choice gone wrong. And then Permanoff was originally ahead, tied it up in 2-2 as this one is flipped down the right field line, giving back his slider, but it will get right over his head into foul territory, fortunately, for Kyle Scott and the GreyWolves for strike 1. Tilly also first pitch swing, had himself a base hit, but then Nicholas Hurst grounded out in a full count, 3-1 walk there to Newborn, and now Grant Carey also finds himself ahead 2-1. So Scott now has his sign. Long look back to second base, and now the delivery. Fastball roped back off the screen here, a little bit off to the right as it appears that the Perth Heat have taken custody of the Volcanoes bat boy. Mr. Cartwright down there. He's been the bat boy for the Volcanoes for, I believe, a couple of years now, and now extending his services to the Heat that I'm sure they're thankful for. So big shout out to him. It's now the count evened up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Couple looks back to second, and now the pitch on the way. Again, fought off and back off the screen. 2-2. So 4-3 as the Perth Heat have reclaimed the lead here at Volcanoes Stadium. All 4 runs coming in the top of this 3rd inning. Isle, Mermil, Permanoff, as well as Foreman have all come in to score. Scott trying to find a way to get past this batter. As the 2-2 again on the way, and this one misses just below the knees there. Looked like a good spot from Scott, but the field umpire, rather the home plate umpire, dictates otherwise, and now the count runs full. Last time we had a full count, at least early on in the ballgame, we saw the runners on the move, although not taking off here with 1 out. Is this a fly ball into shallow right field? Going back is the second baseman, Barkis. He'll call off the right fielder there, number 22, Ben Klenke. That's why it looks so unfamiliar, Klenke out in right field. So 2 outs now here in the third as the 9th batter of the inning coming to the plate, and hopefully for Kyle Scott, that will be the last one. Like I was mentioning, I was trying to figure out who is number 22 out there in right field. The typical backstop for the GreyWolves, Ben Klinke, as this is actually the first time we've seen Klinke and Cairo both in the lineup. Now, generally, Klinke has received 2 of the 3 starts during the West Coast League Series against the Harbor Cats, as this one is in for a strike on the inside edge, 0-1. However, Cairo, at least against the Harbor Cats, got the middle game, so the second game, Klinke got a rest, game 1 and game 3. But nice to see them both in the lineup, and especially Klinke out in right field, as now strike 2 is delivered here by Kyle Scott. Klinke making his first start in the outfield, although we have seen him out there during batting practice, whether it be hawking down fly balls or shagging. And I believe it has been working with a couple of the coaches for the GreyWolves, especially Michael Pena, who's kind of taken task of some of the infielders as well as outfielders, as this one misses a bit too far outside 1 and 2. So good to see Klinke out there getting some playing time, trying to possibly work on a familiar position to him that he hasn't had much time to get many innings at. So nonetheless, Scott here, high leg kick in the 1-2 count, breaking ball, swung on and missed. A nice slider there on the inside edge, and Kyle Scott gets the strikeout to end the side. But not before the Heat strike for 4. Mermel, Isle, Foreman, and Paramonoff all come in to score as they now hold the lead 4-3 as we take a break here on Gresham GreyWolves Live. Be right back with you after this.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham GreyWolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
If you are looking for an award-winning institution of higher education that is touching lives in many ways, look no further than Mount Hood Community College. For 50 years, MHCC has been an economic engine that brings hundreds of millions of dollars into our community, while also providing great educational services to area residents. No matter what you're interested in, MHCC has a place for you. To learn more, visit our website at mhcc.edu. Mount Hood Community College, transforming lives, building communities. And so now we return to action here as we're just about set to begin this bottom of the third for the GreyWolves. Got a bit of work to do as they now trail 4-3. The Perth Heat were able to strike for 4 in the top half of this frame, responding to the GreyWolves' bottom of the first when they got 3 runs off the bat of Nick Snyder. Speaking of the man, he'll be coming to the plate right here to try and lead things off against the left-hander Josh Hendrickson, who's out for his third inning of work. And a pretty nice ball. Pretty nice weather here at the ball yard as this one, a fastball high and outside, 1-0. Flag out there blowing, left to right. Left field to right field is now the second pitch. Swung on and missed by Snyder there. Big cut. Might have been trying to do a little damage with that one as well. 1-1. Kind of some scattered clouds with blue peeking in between. Although, based off the last couple of home series here, at least for the Volcanoes, this is spectacular weather, as we, in fact, had a rainout the last time they were here against the Vancouver Canadians. Ended up having to play a doubleheader on Friday night. 2 7-inning ball games as Snyder pops this one up over and off to the right side. Will get out of play foul as the count remains 2-2. In fact, that Friday night ball game is now the pitch on the way. Fastball laced back off the screen. The rain began to come down. So 2 7-inning ball games, the rain began to come down around the 4th or the 5th, kind of in between that middle break there during the innings, and it was certainly pouring. So we're glad to have this sunlight as Snyder laces one back up the box. A nice backhanded play there by the second baseman Foreman on to first base in time. An excellent defensive stop there by Hamish Foreman, the second baseman for the Australia junior national team, essentially the Perth Heat. As Snyder is retired and there's one away here in the bottom of the third. And Snyder doesn't necessarily run the best out of these GreyWolves sprinters, as now Will Matheson will come to the plate. So Foreman with a little more time. Nonetheless, not taking anything away from that backhanded play. That was a nice snag. As now Will Matheson will come to the plate with one out. And something I forgot to mention in his first at-bat, as he reached on an error back in the first inning, Matheson may actually be, in fact, the closest in terms of age to these Heat players, as now this backdoor breaking ball is in for strike two. Will Matheson recently graduated from West Lynn High School, 18 years old, a 6'6" frame as he now swings through a curveball, tied him up on the inside corner, and he's down on strikes on just 3 pitches. So after giving up 3 runs there in the first, Josh Hendrickson has settled in nicely. Struck out the side in the second, also struck out the side in the first, as he struck out Mitchell Jr. to begin the ball game, and then got Clanky and Wyatt. So a total of now 7 strikeouts through just 2 2/3 here for the tall left-hander. Now Drew Curtis will step in. As Matheson, like I was saying, 18 years old. This one goes for strike one back off the screen. They're going to be attending Stanford University in the fall, so probably a lot of these kids would like to be in Matheson's shoes in terms of around that high school level, going to play elite college Pac-12 baseball. This one popped up into center field. Now drifting towards right center is the outfielder Mermel, and he will make the catch for the third out. So Hendrickson goes 1, 2, 3, ground out, fly out, and a strikeout, as that will end the side. And my broadcast partner Fletcher Like will be taking you through these next 3 innings here at Volcanoes Stadium. Again, I'm Evan Giddings, and the GreyWolves trail here 4-3.
Bum, ba-dum, da-dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford, where I'll donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Welcome back to GreyWolves Live. As now Kyle Scott comes back out to the mound, and Dan Mermel will step into the batter's box and see a first pitch ball from Kyle Scott. His second at bat against Scott, starting off the inning in the third with a double. And he slaps one down the left field line. As we got another howl hour coming on in here, and that's
we prefer the Clark and
Carter Book
Power Hour.
And Michael Clark. The what hour?
We're either the Clark and Carter Power Hour or Carter and Clark After Dark. It kind of depends what times the game start. If it's a 7 o'clock start, we're after dark, but 6:30 we're Power Hour.
Have you guys ever played an Australian baseball team before? Michael Clark was pumped to answer this question.
Actually, in high school, I've played the Perth Heat probably 3 or 4 times. I don't know if the same guys keep coming back, but probably played a few of these guys.
I played an Australian basketball team in high school, got my ankles broken. But that's kind of a normal theme for my basketball games.
Yeah, I've heard they've got some pretty good basketball products down there, actually. Got a couple guys on my university's basketball team that are from Australia. So
Really? Well, I know the West Coast Conference loves Australian basketball players. St. Mary's.
St. Mary's does. They're known as like the Australian like
I think Ben's,
product of basketball.
Patty Mills, the greatest Blazer of all time behind Myers Leonard. Yeah, you're right.
Myers Leonard signing another contract with the Blazers
That's
in the
time.
offseason.
Big time.
A steal of a deal for the Blazers.
Yeah,
46 mil, I think it was, for 4 years.
Everybody's talking about the super team, but they're not talking about the Blazers, who are the best super team with Myers Leonard and Alan Crabb.
Agreed.
A great team. A great team.
And then you add in Damian Lillard.
Yeah, I guess he's
C.J.
okay,
McCollum.
But more so Myers and Alan Crabb.
As 2 singles to left field have put runners on second and third now, as the guys will stay where they are as the throw comes in from left field, and Kyle Scott gives up another base hit to the 2 batters in the bottom of the lineup for the Perth Heat.
Fletch, I didn't realize that you also worked for the Volcanoes.
I do. So
I mean, what guys do you like better? I mean,
well, I interact with you guys more.
That's what I like to hear.
They're getting paid to play baseball, so they can kind of big league you because they kind of are big league players. They're going to be big league players.
So you're not rooming with these guys on the road, right?
I do not room with the guys on the road, no. And so
Hey, that's a tough
I don't
for
get
them.
meals with
That's a
them.
loss for them.
Thank you.
Are they hitting you in the face in 2-ball, or what's the deal? Is
I
that
haven't-
Is that why you like them better, because they're not hitting you in the face?
I never said I like them better.
Oh, ball boy almost got smoked.
Yeah, that guy has had some difficult times. I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
He had a bouncer that went off the fence a couple games ago, and it landed literally in his glove, and he dropped it. And I was like, oh, come on, man, that was your one shot, kind of teasing him a little bit. He goes, oh, I know.
I just got a request. Oh, there goes my teammate, Bobby Tarnapool. Go Linfield Wildcats, second of all.
I work with him. I'm going to Mariners game with him tomorrow.
I know, that's what he told me.
Yeah.
That's funny. I've been texting Mike Breen a little bit. Just told Clark to talk up louder because Clark's a little softy.
He
And
is.
so, Clark, maybe speak up. What do you got to say to that?
We love you, Mike. We miss you, man. Wish you were out there. Still living in that trailer, you know? Looking for you there.
Mike went to the trailer in the sky.
I was very saddened to hear that he was no longer on the team.
Oh yeah, I mean Mike's a great guy, an even better baseball player. You know, we miss him out there on the infield, but more importantly, I think we miss him on our Pokemon Go team. He was really the leader of our group, and I think without him, we've kind of fizzled away after our Wenatchee trip. So our Pokemon Go team has kind of fizzled out, which is sad, But I mean, when you lose a great leader like Breen, that'll happen to you.
That will happen to you. The man out of San Jose State going down to injury.
And
I thought he juked out that first baseman pretty well.
For what it's worth, he kind of looked like a young Reggie Bush, is what I will say.
Like freshman year?
Yeah, well, I heard USC already gave him a call and said, hey, after your surgery, you got the starting running back job locked up. Clark, thoughts? Actually, can I get your thoughts on Pokemon Go, too? Because I noticed you haven't bought in yet. What's your deal, man?
Kyle Scott loads the bases with a walk to Foreman.
Even as a child, I was never a big Pokemon guy. So once this Pokemon Go nonsense comes out, I can't just hop on the bandwagon like that. I'm not trying to walk around the hotel room with no shirt on, no shoes, just searching for the next Pikachu.
Hey, but you got to do what you got to do to get ready for a game.
Are you taking shots at Dylan Doherty? Is there some bad blood that the fans need to know about?
There's always bad blood between me and Doherty.
Hey, but I heard Dylan Doherty's on tonight's pitching situation, and you're not.
Oh!
He's the extra inning guy.
If they want to see 73 and straight, Dylan's the guy.
That's similar to Carter Book, though, right?
Oh, 75. Come on, give me a break. What I'm hearing is this. This Sunday, we're having just a beatdown between you and Doherty to settle this.
Oh. How much are tickets?
2 people enter the cage, 1 person leaves. My money's on Doherty.
Kyle Scott working with the bases loaded here in the 4th inning. A little blooper into shallow right field, and then Barkus is going to get out there and make a catch for out number 1 as Kyle Scott gets the first out of the inning here with the bases loaded after giving up a single and a double to put guys on second and third, and then giving up a walk to load the bases. And a double play ball would get him out of the inning here with no runs scored as the GreyWolves trail 4-3 to the Perth Heat out of Perth, Australia. This is not the Perth Heat team that plays in the ABL, correct?
Correct. I was informed that this is like their 18U team. So, I mean, for being a young group of guys, these guys are very talented.
Barkus with a athletic charging effort to get the guy at first base.
Clark, any thoughts on Australia?
Cameron Tilley.
From what I've seen, they look pretty big. I'm not going to lie for how young they are. I heard the first baseman's actually 16 years old. He's got some beef going on him, so.
What about just the continent?
A lot of sharks. A lot of sharks, Carter.
A lot of sharks.
A lot of sharks.
You heard it here first. That's a hot take from Michael Clark.
Clark, when you played the Perth, how many times have they all been here in the United States, or have you traveled to Australia to play baseball?
No, actually, they always came to my high school for summer baseball every year. So it's kind of like the yearly ritual where we always play the Perth Heat and have a little barbecue with them after and take a lot of pictures with them. So it's always a pretty cool experience.
That's fun. As Kyle Scott gets out of the inning with another ground out, and the GreyWolves now trail 5-3 after a run is scored on 2 different hits. And we'll take a break here and come back and have another chat with Michael Clark and Carter Book after Kyle Scott gets out of that one. And we'll be back here on GreyWolves Live. You're listening to Gresham GreyWolves Baseball. GreyWolves trail 5-3.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays,
is there really?
Fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham GreyWolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
If you are looking for an award-winning institution of higher education that is touching lives in many ways, look no further than Mount Hood Community College. For 50 years, MHCC has been an economic engine that brings hundreds of millions of dollars into our community, while also providing great educational services to area residents. No matter what you're interested in, MHCC has a place for you. To learn more, visit our website at mhcc.edu. Mount Hood Community College, transforming lives, building communities.
Welcome back to GreyWolves Live as Ben Klenke playing in right field tonight. Interesting change of events for Klenke as 2 catchers are in the game for the GreyWolves tonight, stepping in to face Josh Hendrickson, who still isn't in the game for the Perth Heat, and Carter Book and Michael Clark are still in the booth here for the second half
Glad to be
of
here.
the fourth. As Michael Clark doesn't want to talk here in the bottom of the fourth. He's watching the game.
Walking into the game.
He's a student of the game. He always visualizing.
That's good. I'll get you places. Klenke with a 1-1 count, swinging through a breaking ball.
I take mental reps over physical reps any day of the week.
Well, you know what I'm going to say. You want quantity, not quality.
Michael Clark's high school team, the team that plays with no baseball. They warm up with an imaginary baseball.
We use our minds.
As the count is now 2-2 to Ben Klenke. You guys, the GreyWolves, now have a beer batter. And I heard the fans got into it last night.
I saw that. Well, do you know who
Started
it was?
by Mike Lord, I believe. The PA announcer for the home games.
Are you the new people's champ? Do I have to give you the nickname? I don't want to give it up, but I will.
Carter Book very adamant about keeping that title as Ben Klenke goes down on strikes.
Yeah, well, I think Gabe may have struck him out once last night, or am I wrong? Do you know if we...
I believe he had 2 strikeouts on him.
I'm pretty sure there was a little bit of Twitter beef, too, going on.
Yes, there was.
There was some Twitter beef. What the GreyWolves tweeted like the rules of the pitching change. That got pretty...
Got heated.
You savage, you.
Connor Pelton, the media relations.
It must be hard being that much of a savage.
Getting into some
he puts
Twitter trolling on.
He puts his pants on one leg at a time, but after he does that, he puts out flame tweets. Clark, thoughts?
I was just thinking about that video of you putting your shorts on with 2 legs at the same time.
Ty Wyatt.
That's a Ty
Wyatt home run.
I'm used to those.
Yeah, Carter Book is definitely used to those as Ty Wyatt gets a home run.
Is that the second Oppo bomb today for the GreyWolves?
You're not wrong.
Nick Snyder hitting
that
one
is country strength.
back in the first inning, which it looked like the right fielder lost in the sun in the first.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden the ball got out of the ballpark to 325, and the fence is about 10, 12 feet out there.
Yeah, that was smoke.
Up in the air, yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk about the whole everybody puts on their pants one leg at a time. But Michael Clark and I put that challenge to the test by me jumping into my pants one day.
Did you actually get inside?
Clark, can you verify for me?
I do have video evidence. I don't know if we could show that to the viewers online.
We'll put it on the stream.
Matt Caro taking a pitch on the elbow, and will get on base via hit by pitch, bringing up Jeffrey Mitchell Jr. The center fielder tonight. Ryan Smith with the day off defensively. Jeffrey Mitchell Jr. striking out in the first and the second inning, looking to get back to his hitting ways.
Clark, what are your thoughts on not being invited to this year's home run derby?
After the BP I hit, was that yesterday or 2 days ago? 2 days ago.
How did that go? I heard you guys had pitcher BP.
We had, I might have been using a beezer, but I'll tell you what, there's about 30 balls in the left field woods that you're going to get.
He popped up every ball to the infield. Gabe Benavidez was the only one of us to hit one out. And
Gabe? I thought it was going to be Rylan Luchuk.
There's a rumor going around. No, Rylan's got legs like tree trunks, but the swing isn't quite there.
The biggest squatting guy on the team.
Gabe, there's rumors going around that Gabe might get an AB tonight.
That would be pretty great, actually.
I saw he took one swing in BP. He grounded out, but the guy's got the gift. The guy's got the gift.
AB tonight?
Yeah, tonight he might
BP?
take one.
Did he take BP tonight, though?
Oh, yeah, just one swing.
Gotcha. Another inside pitch
All he needs, one swing
from Hendrickson.
Well, the great ones don't even need to warm up, man.
Jeffrey Mitchell Jr. hitting 319 on the season, has a whole 143 in non-conference play. Gets one through the right side,
Real good.
And Carroll will get in at second base.
Can we take a look at Clark's batting average on there? I think technically you're batting 1,000.
Yeah, with about 5 home runs. I should be the league leader if you look over there on the top of the scoreboard.
Let's just say Michael Clark has only pitched 15 in the third inning. He has no at-bats. He's a reliever. He closes out contests. He shuts the door.
You let us have no fun, Fletch. Gosh.
How did he hit in the BP, though? Did he get any hits?
I don't. He wasn't bad, is what I will say. He wasn't bad. I was pretty garbage.
I was going to say, Clark was definitely better than you.
I was pretty garbage. Spud had a few hard hit balls. Kyle Scott had a few. Anybody else?
I'll tell you the worst thing about it was using a 32-inch bat. Like I was on T-ball again or something.
Yeah, it was like a drop 6 too, wasn't it? Yeah, our bat situation was subpar. So I'm going to blame it on that for the time being.
Well, you guys aren't going to be bad. You're baseball players. You have a sense of how to swing a bat and hit a ball.
That's true.
It's not like you're just going to roll over everything and just dribble one back to the pitcher.
Very true.
As Barkis now has an 0-2 count after fouling off the last pitch. 1 out in the inning, runners at first and second. Matt Caro at second base, who has the duties behind the plate, and Jeffrey Mitchell Jr. at first, as Barkis swings through a breaking ball for strike number 3.
Clark, what's your catchphrase?
Ooh, you can't just put me on the spot like that.
That's a bad catchphrase.
John Cena? Could that be a catchphrase?
It's not bad.
I was busting out the see ya.
See is not bad. I would go with whammy. I would have to steal the Anchorman whammy. What's another good one? I mean, I guess you could say don't let your dreams be dreams at the end of every broadcast. That's not bad.
That's pretty good.
You could end every sentence with waves don't die.
Waves do not die.
I saw that on social media. What is that from?
Waves don't die. It's a Kanye West song that we've adapted as our team motto.
Gotcha.
That as well as Views, the Drake album.
All I know is that anytime Chris Brown takes the mound,
Yeah, I've heard you start throwing in some Chris Brown
references.
references.
Throw in Chris Brown references.
That's as good as it gets.
Song titles, you just slide them in there just like it's nothing.
Nothing beats mid-2000s R&B, I'll tell you what.
Oh, you saw my Spotify playlist of summer hits of the 2000s.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
That's my best one.
Summer hits of the 2000s, Pandora. It's as good as it gets, man.
That's where I got it from.
Yeah.
2-1 count now to Jack Johnson at the University of Washington. 2 outs in the inning. Runners at first and second. Curveball outside. Doesn't clip the plate.
Now, Carter, didn't you have a radio show where all you played was 2,000 hits?
I happen to have a radio show at Linfield College, KSLC, Fridays 12 to 2 if you're ever bored. Yeah, strictly played early 2000s pop jams. There was a lot of, let's see here, there was a lot of Black Eyed Peas, early Fergie, some Jason Derulo. Yeah, just some absolute bangers is what I like to call them.
I'm going to have to call in next year, maybe join you for a couple broadcasts.
Yeah, we'd love to have you, and by we, I mean me. It's a solo show. You can't have a one-man power hour as far as I'm concerned.
Do you take call-ins?
I do take call-ins, and every show my brother calls in and would say, can you play that song about Grandma getting run over by a reindeer?
Your brother would do something like that.
To which I would respond, you mean Grandma got run over by a reindeer? And he would say, no, that's not it. I don't like that guy. I don't like my brother.
How about the daily dad jokes?
Daily dad jokes, yeah, those are my favorite. My favorite one was, yesterday I asked my dad to make me a sandwich, and he said, abracadabra, you're a sandwich. Come on. That's cool.
Carter Book is definitely the kind of person to have dad jokes all over his social media accounts. An inside pitch to Nick Snyder is an attempted back pick back to third base. Been multiple attempted back picks here by the catcher for the Perth Heat, Cameron Tilley. Breaking ball spliced into right center field, shallow right field. Diving play by the right fielder, Sandon Isle, and comes up with that one, robbing Snyder.
I think we need to go to the replay
of a hit there.
One.
As we will take a break here and come back for the fifth inning here on GreyWolves Baseball. GreyWolves still trail 5-4.
If you are looking for an award-winning institution of higher education that is touching lives in many ways, look no further than Mount Hood Community College. For 50 years, MHCC has been an economic engine that brings hundreds of millions of dollars into our community, while also providing great educational services to area residents. No matter what you're interested in, MHCC has a place for you. To learn more, visit our website at mhcc.edu. Mount Hood Community College, transforming lives, building communities.
Bum, ba-da-dum, da-da-dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
Finding the right.
Welcome back to GreyWolves Live as Book and Clark are still in the booth here as we head to the fifth inning, and Zach Robinson takes the mound for the first time as a GreyWolf. He's out of Clark College. His favorite athlete is Derek Jeter, and he will be making his first appearance here in summer college baseball here for the GreyWolves.
Fletch, I just want to let you know we live for this right here. We live for this.
This is essentially the only reason we're still on this team, like that we haven't been kicked out, is to do this show, man.
You're a man of the people, right?
Yeah. We're men of the people.
Men of the people, as Robinson's quickly worked an 0-2 count here to Mitch Newborn. Submarine guy laced into right field, and Ben Klenke will chase after that one deep in the corner, right next to the 325 sign, and it's going to be a stand-up triple for Newborn here in the 5th. What happened there, guys?
Clark, thoughts?
Just a 0-2, what was that, slider? I think an 0-2 slider hung a little bit, and he smoked it down the right field line for a triple. Yeah.
You know, what makes me sad is that he really reminds me of one of our favorite guys, Jake Boyd, who left our team to for the Alaskan League. May he rest in peace. But you know what? That's how it goes. Clark's choking up over here. He can't really talk, but.
You know, there's a lot of heartbreak out there with Mark Mumper also leaving.
Love that guy.
Good guy, loved him.
Lopes up.
As Robinson gets a ground ball to the right side, Barkis will throw over to first base to retire Grant Carey after a run will score on the ground out.
Tonight is also the Ryan Rodriguez farewell tour. Gonna miss that guy. He's our first base coach tonight as well, I believe. He's going under the name Ignacio. And
he looks the part.
He does look the part. I mean, he looks like he's 35. Yeah, so he introduced himself to the umpire as Ignacio and has been giving out gummy bears to people. So,
is he going to bring some gummy bears up to the booth?
Well, actually, he stole the gummy bears from Gabe Benavidez, so I don't know how happy Gabe is about that.
He probably hasn't noticed yet.
No, probably not.
Two-0 pitch is smacked down the line in left field. It's just going to be foul. As Robinson will wait for the batter to step back into the batter's box. Kyle Pike struck out twice, once in the second, once in the third. As a 2-1 pitch stays up high for ball number 3. 3-1 pitch right over the top of the plate for strike number 2. As Kaysen Cunningham is warming up in the bullpen for the GreyWolves, a sophomore out of Linfield who also served 4 years in the military.
Thank you for your service, Kaysen.
Agreed. Can't be said enough.
Can't be said enough. No, I always give my chair up for him. Always ask if he can have discounts at restaurants. He's too nice of a guy. He doesn't take it, but I try and take it from him.
Pop fly behind the plate. Umpire trying to get out of the way of Cairo, who comes back and makes the catch for out number 2. Dan Mermel, the center fielder, will step into the batter's box now. Scoring in the 3rd and scoring in the 4th. As the Heat have a 6-4 lead here after scoring a run earlier in this inning.
You know, Clark, our boy Zach from Clark College, would it not be humorous if you went to Clark College?
That joke's already been made about 4 times in the dugout, but nice try, Carter.
Let me bet all 4 times, and now a 5th time, all by Carter Book.
Not actually. No, for once, I did not repeat a joke. I'm proud of myself.
Do you guys have a joke of the trip on this trip down I-5?
Somebody just said something funny, but I can't remember.
Hour,
what it was.
15-minute trip.
What was it? Oh, Jeff Mitchell said something along the lines of, you know, if I strike out, I'm going to be really mad. And so he struck out in one of his at-bats, and, you know, he was fine with it. But as he's walking back to the dugout, the velocity meter is down by about 10 miles an hour. So the kid's probably throwing like 87, 88, and it showed up as 80 on the board. So somebody, when he walked back in the dugout, somebody said, how'd it feel to get struck out by 80 miles an hour? Everybody laughed. That's the joke of the trip so far.
I think it was more like you just got 80 blown right by you.
It's gas, man.
You got
It's
blown
gas.
away
I
by
heard-
80 miles an
I
hour.
can hear it from here.
As
I'm not giving away that trophy, though.
Robinson gets the third out on a lazy fly ball to right field in which Ben Clanky was playing very shallow on. And we'll take one last break here in the fifth as the GreyWolves will send Matheson, Curtis, and Clanky to the plate here in the fifth inning. You're listening to Gresham GreyWolves Baseball here on GreyWolves Live.
Dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, Fishbowl Friday.
Will Matheson, just graduating from high school at Westland High School up the road, attending Stanford in the fall, swings at the first pitch he sees, a chopper to the left side, and he's going to be called out at first base.
We could have used Coach Ryan Rodriguez to argue that call.
Ignacio,
Yeah.
Ryan Rodriguez, spending his last day with us here in the GreyWolves family. He'll still be in our hearts, though.
Oh, he'll always be in our hearts. I think we're all getting Ryan Rodriguez tattoos across our back.
Drew Curtis gets jammed on that one.
Rumor
and
does have
flares
it
it to the first baseman.
That Rod is the GOAT.
Ryan Rodriguez is the GOAT. Clark, thoughts on that? Well, do you want to explain what GOAT is?
So GOAT stands for greatest of all time, and lately Rod has kind of turned it on, so our bullpen kind of has a joke that every time he gets a hit, we go, Rod's the GOAT, Rod's the GOAT, Rod's the GOAT.
Rod is the GOAT.
Right fielder Ben Clanky will step into the batter's box now and look at a fastball inside for ball number one.
We're going to need a new GOAT.
You're going to need a new person to start movies in the bus.
No, Fletch might be the GOAT.
Fletch might be the GOAT. Fletch might also be new movie guy on the bus.
It is above my head, so
It's okay, man. You
I'm
gotta
close.
trust
I'm going to
yourself.
have to really figure out how to utilize the chords that are up there and move them in a certain spot to make sure that the sound works.
And I mean, the crowd is not very friendly. If you make a mistake, you're going to get booed
Absolutely.
on our bus.
When in doubt, play the movie Fast 5, and there won't be any problems with me.
I'm more of a fan of 16 Blocks.
That was a good one.
That was the original GreyWolves bus movie.
How many times have you guys seen that one on the bus?
Not nearly enough, as far as I'm concerned.
2-2 count now to Ben Clanky. This one is in the dirt. As Ben Clanky out of the University of Nebraska is playing in right field tonight in the exhibition game against the Perth Heat out of Perth, Australia. Normally gets duties behind the plate. And when you're hitting 264 in a wooden bat league, you kind of need to get put in the lineup as Clanky goes down on strikes. And we will head to the sixth inning. And can you guys stay another inning, or you guys got to get back to the dugout?
No, we got nothing to do with our lives. We'll be here.
All righty, sounds good. They're not in the rotation tonight as Keizer Cunningham comes out to the mound for an inning or two of relief as Gigi the mascot is raking the field during this half-inning break. And we'll be back here on GreyWolves Live. You're listening to Gresham GreyWolves Baseball. GreyWolves trail 6-4.
Or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham GreyWolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
But then his job job starts.
If you are looking for an award-winning institution of higher education that is touching lives in many ways, look no further than Mount Hood Community College. For 50 years, MHCC has been an economic engine that brings hundreds of millions of dollars into our community, while also providing great educational services to area residents. No matter what you're interested in, MHCC has a place for you. To learn more, visit our website at mhcc.edu. Mount Hood Community College, transforming lives, building communities.
Bum ba da dum da da dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly.
Welcome back to GreyWolves Live here from Volcanoes Stadium, home of the Salem Keizer Volcanoes, a single-A short season team for the San Francisco Giants in the Northwest League. I'm Fletcher Like here with Carter Book and Michael Clark, two GreyWolves bullpen pitchers.
You know, in between innings, we had Grigio and crew dragging the infield. Michael Clark, the famous Michael Clark, who is the top infield dragger in the Big West Conference for your Cal Poly Mustangs. Clark, any thoughts on Grigio's dragging form?
You know what? My first time was a lot better than that, but, you know, you got to give it to him when I have my golden rake sitting at home for being the best in the Big West for it. So, yeah, you know, I can't complain. Just I would have done a little bit better, but, you know, got to give him a shot.
How do you feel about the fact that you were snubbed as only a second-team All-American dragger this year instead of first-team?
Not a lot of respect coming from the West Coast, so we're just out here grinding, trying to get noticed.
Yeah, as Keizer Cunningham gets a ground out to the second baseman, Jordan Barkis, here to begin the sixth inning. Have you guys talked to Jordan about playing for your brother? I don't know how that would go.
Well, I actually did this my freshman year. My brother was an assistant coach at Concordia, Wisconsin, where I went. It makes it kind of interesting. Luckily, he was a infielder and I was a pitcher, so I didn't have to deal with him too much. But it's a very interesting dynamic for sure.
Ground ball up the middle for a base hit by Hamish Foreman. His first hit of the evening. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Julian Paramanov, wearing number 75. Wearing a football lineman
Yeah, this guy's
uniform.
A right guard. You should have seen him at the draft combine.
As lefty Cunningham will get a sign from Matt Cairo out of Columbia University. And will deliver home. Swung on and missed by Paramanov. Cunningham pitched 6 1/3 innings so far this season, as Cunningham has allowed a stolen base here. Matt Cairo's throw just getting away from Jack Johnson, the shortstop for the GreyWolves, and time will be called. Cairo will go out and chat with Cunningham, and they'll go back to their respective positions. Are you guys going to go to the All-Star game? Watch Ryan Smith and Jeffrey Mitchell Jr.?
You know, I'd love to be there for the two. Great guys, but off days are so seldom in this league that it's nice to kind of enjoy them. I would like to see him, especially because I got another Linfield Wildcat that's a pitcher on the – is it the South? We're the South?
Yeah. We're in the South, yes.
Pitcher on the South, so it would be a fun game to get to, but unfortunately I will not be there. Clark, what about you?
No, like you said, with these few off days that we do have, I want to spend them relaxing, I think, maybe floating down the river.
It's a good one to do.
Yeah, try to explore Gresham a little bit. I haven't seen much of it since I've been here. Just my host house, pretty much.
What do you guys like to do on your off days? The ones you guys, the very few you guys have.
The one that I've been here for, I actually went whitewater rafting with Ryan Smith and his host family. So that was something pretty fun that we got to do. And I think this break we'll probably just explore, maybe go on a few hikes.
Yeah, there's been a talk of a few team hikes, which will be a good time. I mean, we're a pretty close group. We stick together in everything we do. I'll probably do what I usually do and just watch Grey's Anatomy for like 12 hours a day. But outside of that, I mean, world is my oyster, you know.
Carter Book admitting that he is a white girl that
I don't know if you've ever seen
watches Grey's
Grey's
Anatomy.
Anatomy.
I have seen Grey's Anatomy, but I don't binge watch it. There's a couple good hikes down the gorge, Aniana Gorge.
Yeah, well, we were looking
some falls.
we were looking at doing one of the Multnomah Falls. I know Clark hasn't been there, and that's one of my favorite places to go around here.
One of the most attended attractions
Yeah.
or places in the country and on the West Coast.
Yeah, I mean, when you think of Oregon sites, you think of the falls, you think of Crater Lake. So I mean, some good places to go here. Exploregan is what the kids are calling it these days.
You know, it took a while to get used to this weather here in Oregon. Coming from California, you know, always sunny and about 75. So just getting used to the rain is probably the biggest part coming to Oregon, I'd say. How's it living in Oregon?
Once you get out of June, though, it doesn't rain that often.
Well, I'd like to describe Oregon as being the greatest place in the history of the earth. So that's all I got to say about that.
2-2 pitch to Paramanov. Is caught by the center fielder Jeffrey Mitchell Jr. for out number 2.
I believe that's Curtis Perrin out there.
That is Curtis Perrin out there. All 5'7" of him.
Great guy. He let me wear his socks for the last month, and I just completely shredded them. So, Curtis, if you or your family is listening to this broadcast, I'm sorry about your socks. I'll sew them.
Probably the reason why Carter's been shoving as of late. I'm surprised this guy's not an all-star, huh?
Sports.
Keizer Cunningham looking back, the runner at first base. Foreman after his single and stolen base.
I just saw a very rare sight there. Keizer Cunningham, a feared member of the Linfield Wildcats pitching staff, his go-to move is when he throws his fastball, occasionally he'll slide and fall off the mound, but the kid still has about a 90% strike rate when he falls off the mound. So when you see that, you know a strikeout's coming.
When he falls off before the next pitch. (2-0) count now to Cameron Tilley, the catcher for the Heat, and he swings through that pitch from Keizer Cunningham. We'll have to take you guys on some exploring adventures in Bend when we go to Bend on that last trip. That 6-day road trip that we have.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. Bend is a beautiful place, especially this time of the year.
Great places in Bend to go.
Well, and I mean, the atmosphere at Bend Stadium is a very cool place. I mean, we go to Bend and Corvallis within like a week span, so that'll be a really fun road trip.
It's going to be a long road trip like the one we had in Kelowna and Wenatchee.
That's true, but at least we're still in, America. Freedom.
No 9-hour bus rides.
Yeah, also true. No trouble at the border.
3-1 pitch is swung up and missed at the neck. As Cameron Tilley now has a full count against GreyWolves pitcher Keizer Cunningham. He has a 4.5 ERA in non-league games and a 5.68 ERA in 6 1/3 innings of West Coast League play. And he gets a strikeout to end the inning. Here as we'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Here in Gresham as Carter Book and Michael Clark are going to head out. And we say thank you.
Thank you, Fletch. Thank you.
Have a good night and good luck to the GreyWolves as the GreyWolves trail 6-4 here in in Salem Keizer here on the field of the Volcanoes. You're listening to Gresham GreyWolves Baseball on GreyWolves Live.
You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford, where I'll donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
Here in the bottom of the 6th inning. GreyWolves trail 6-4 here. Ty White hitting a home run back in the 4th inning. A solo shot off of Hendrickson, the starter for the Perth Heat, still in the game. Broken bat, left side, and it's going to be bobbled and muffed there by the third baseman, and Ty White will get on with an error, E5, as Ty White has now reached base twice now. One for 3.
Catcher number 35, Matt
That'll bring up Matt Keizer out of Columbia University. As Keizer started behind the plate, and teammate at Columbia, Brett Ganaway, was on the mound to start. Time will be called by Keizer. And we thank Carter Book and Michael Clark again for coming up here and having a fun little chat, keeping it fun here in the press box as Keizer swings through the first pitch he sees. Clark and Book, two fun personalities here on this GreyWolves team, trailing 6-4 here in Keizer at Volcanoes Stadium, home of the Salem Keizer Volcanoes. Fletcher Lyke and Evan Giddings will be here back for the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, and any innings that come thereafter here in this exhibition game against the Perth Heat out of Australia. As Keizer has worked the count 2-1 now. He's been on base twice now with 0 official at-bats here in the game. A walk and a hit by pitch. Put Keizer on base both times. Keizer fouling off that 2-1 pitch, making it 2-2 now. Curtis Perrin has entered the game, thankful to the eye of Michael Clark and Carter Book here after a fly out in the 5th. Ty White at first base. Short lead. And a little bloop single there by Keizer, and he's 1 for 1 tonight. And he's gone on base 3 times. And it's throwing from the right fielder. It gets past the cutoff man and bounces in to third base. White stopping at second on the single by Keizer. Bringing up Curtis Perrin. Curtis Perrin and Dylan Doherty, known as Mr. Moneyball, as they work a lot of walks and find ways to get on base. Doherty with a .246 batting average with 14 walks in 21 games played. Curtis Perrin with 20 walks in 19 games played, earning a walk at least once per game, with a .228 batting average with 13 hits, as the Perth manager goes out and has a chat with his entire infield, as well as his starting pitcher Hendrickson, who's gone 5 full innings here, and in a little bit of trouble here with runners at first and second after 2 base runners reached. An E5 put Ty Wyatt out of Willamette University here in Salem, Oregon, on first base, and a single by the catcher Matt Keizer.
Figure something out, let me know.
Puts Wyatt second. And now the leadoff batter Curtis Perrin, who has batting for Jeffrey Mitchell Jr. Now Cal tries to lay it down a bunt, but it gets past the catcher's glove and gets all the way back to the screen here in Salem. It's a beautiful night. Not too hot, not too cold here in the Pacific Northwest. As Hendrickson takes a couple looks back at Wyatt. The corners are in for the Heat. As Curtis Perrin has gotten the sign to bunt no matter what here. And he'll wait for Hendrickson to get a sign. Delivery, bunt shown. Pulls it back as the ball was at his head again. No throw from the catcher on the play. Catcher Cameron Tilley still in the game for the Heat. GreyWolves trailing 6-4. Fletcher like bunt gets down left side. The left-handed pitcher gets the ball and makes a toss over to third base to get the lead runner Ty Wyatt on the play. As the ball was bunted to the side, the lefty fell to off the mound. And that'll bring up Jordan Barkis on the attempted sacrifice, but it's going to go down as a fielder's choice. That'll bring up Jordan Barkis. And he'll foul off the first pitch he sees. Barkis is hitting 143 in non-league play. Hitting 265 here for the GreyWolves in West Coast League play as he looks at a front door breaking ball that'll clip the plate for strike number 2. Here with 1 out in the inning. Runners at first and second. Curtis Perrin at first base. Matt Caro at second. As the 0-2 pitch is a ball for ball number 1. GreyWolves taking a break here before playing the Corvallis Knights, July 20th, 21st, and 22nd out at Osland Field in Gresham, Oregon. The 1-2 pitch is grounded left side. It's going to get through, and Cairo will be waved around third base. The ball will be thrown home from the left fielder, but Cairo will stand up at home, making the score 6-5 after the single by Jordan Barkis. That'll bring up Jack Johnson at the University of Washington. Johnson is 1 for 2 tonight with a walk. He scored back in the first, the second run of the game for the GreyWolves. As Johnson we'll see the first pitch from Hendrickson low for ball number 1. Jack Johnson wearing number 8. From Seattle, Washington, playing in his home state, just down the road at the University of Washington, making the trip down. His family was able to see him when the GreyWolves played in Wenatchee, winning 2 of 3, dropping the last game of the series on a play at the plate as the GreyWolves' late inning push to win the ball game was stymied by the Apple Sox. High pop fly here with 1 out will stay in the infield. The infield fly is in effect, and that is out number 2 here on the pop-up by Jack Johnson. That'll bring up Nick Snyder, who hit a 3-run homer back in the first inning, scoring Barkis and Johnson along with himself. 1 of 2 opposite field home runs here for the GreyWolves. The wind is blowing from left to right and carried 2 baseballs over the right field wall. big hanging curveball there to open up the at-bat. GreyWolves are 18-18 in West Coast League play in their inaugural season, starting off the second half of the West Coast League play with a 7-2 record, and have won 3 straight series as Nick Steiner pops one out to the first baseman just in foul territory, and the GreyWolves will head to top of the 7th inning, trailing by 1 run here, 6-5, and Evan Giddings will take on the last 3 innings and any more that the GreyWolves play here in Salem. You're listening to Gresham GreyWolves Baseball on GreyWolves Live. Fletcher Light signing out.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is at home of Gresham GreyWolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
If you are looking for an award-winning institution of higher education that is touching lives in many ways, look no further than Mount Hood Community College. For 50 years, MHCC has been an economic engine that brings hundreds of millions of dollars into our community, while also providing great educational services to area residents. No matter what you're interested in, MHCC has a place for you. To learn more, visit our website at mhcc.edu. Mount Hood Community College, transforming lives, building communities. And welcome back here into the broadcast booth here at Volcanoes Stadium in Keizer, Oregon. Evan Giddings back with you for the last 3 innings of this ball game here between the Gresham GreyWolves and the Perth Heat from down under in Australia. They currently hold the lead 6-5 here as we are just about set to begin the 7th inning. And a new pitcher on for the GreyWolves in the form of Trevor Huddleston, one of the newest additions to the GreyWolves rotation, I should say pitching staff, from Lower Columbia College. So Red Devil was Huddleston, 5'10", 170-pound left-hander, was a freshman there last year. Although did redshirt, originally from Woodland, California. So we'll get our first look at Huddleston as we did another. All right, and we also got to look at another right-hander out of the bullpen for the GreyWolves. Ended up going an inning, gave up about 4 runs. Or rather, that was Kyle Scott as the other right-hander came in. And his name escapes me at this current time. Another right-hander entered, and he has not been on the roster. In fact, Zach Robinson from Puyallup, Washington, at Clark College in Vancouver, Washington. So now it's another addition for the GreyWolves. It's his turn on the mound, and Trevor Huddleston. First batter he will face will be Nicholas Hurst, who came in back in the 3rd inning for Kai Vasilakis. And actually, now that I think about it, because Vasilakis came out after his first at-bat. He struck out in the 1st inning, only played 2 innings of defense as the first strike is delivered here from Huddleston on the way there to Hurst. So Vasilakis, at least before the game, there were kind of whispers, at least coming from that Heat dugout, as this one a ground ball over the right side, playable there for the second baseman Barkas. He'll collect it and go on to first base in time for the first out of the inning. So Vasilakis might have been the injury that I heard about earlier in the ball game, or at least before the ball game. I was down there talking to some of the Heat players as well as their coaches, and when I asked about the starting lineup, they said that they would have to get back to me because they were checking on the injury status of one of their players. And now that I've kind of been able to put 2 and 2 together in terms of the starting lineup, my guess would be Vasilakis was the member of that order that was likely hurt, that he had to check up on. Apparently said he was okay to go, and then evidently something flared up during the middle of the ballgame and had to be taken out. Now quickly 2 strikes here to Mitch Newaborn, the designated hitter for the Heat, as he is 0 for 2. Reached on a walk back in the 5th, ended up stealing 3rd. Came around to score on the RBI ground out for the man on deck, Grant Carey. Hit a triple in the 5th inning as he now grounds this one, a slow chopper over the shortstop. Incoming Johnson, he'll charge it. Strong throw on to first base just in time. Gets him by half a step there. Quickly 2 away. And a nice start here for Trevor Huddleston. So much like a lot of the GreyWolves arms down there in the bullpen, not necessarily overpowering stuff, but definitely is going to rely on that command as well as movement of his pitches. Fastball, changeup, curveball, the general repertoire of most of these GreyWolves pitchers. There's the curveball right there, misses too far and high outside. Also, it appears he has somewhat of a similar delivery to the previous lefty we saw, Keizer Cunningham, a teammate of one of the members you saw here in the booth, Carter Book. Very entertaining these last 3 innings. I was able to kind of listen in while Fletcher was conducting the interview as well as his last 3 innings. So now this one bounces away from the catcher, Keizer, 2-0. And the way that Cunningham, at least he throws, it was much more entertaining the way that Book described his teammates' throwing motion as he kind of falls off the mound, and the hat does come off a bit as well. As now this one, a slow tapper out in front of the plate. Grounded up, picked off the backhand by the pitcher there, Huddleston, flip over to first base in time. So although the hat may have been coming off there at the end, able to recuperate and get that out at first base on 1-3 putout. So 1-2-3 first inning there for Trevor Huddleston as we will head to the 8th inning here at Volcanoes Stadium. Coming up for the Heat, or rather the GreyWolves, going to the bottom of the 7th, it'll be Matheson, Curtis, and Klenke. When we return here on Gresham GreyWolves Baseball Live, they trail 6-5.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is at home of Gresham GreyWolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
If you are looking for an award-winning institution of higher education that is touching lives in many ways, look no further than Mount Hood Community College. For 50 years, MHCC has been an economic engine that brings hundreds of millions of dollars into our community, while also providing great educational services to area residents. No matter what you're interested in, MHCC has a place for you. To learn more, visit our website at mhcc.edu. Mount Hood Community College, transforming lives, building communities. And so now we're just about set to go here in the bottom of the 7th inning at Osland Field between the I keep saying Osland Field, Volcanoes Stadium. We're down here in Keizer, Oregon at the beautiful facility of the Salem Keizer Volcanoes. Of course, they're on the road, I believe, up in Everett, Washington, as the first pitch on the way here to Matheson from the newly inserted right-hander Blade Hader coming into pitch. A utility player, as he has played some infield, but Blade, a junior in high school from Perth, Australia, which is where the majority of this team is from. Have a couple of other Australian members of the team from different cities around Australia, as this one in for the first strike to Matheson. Cameron Tilley, another one of the starters from Canberra, Australia, and Hamish Foreman, the leadoff hitter of the ball game from Melbourne, as this one misses too far low, 3-1. So Matheson is 0 for 3. Did reach in the first inning, but that was on an error by the shortstop, Permanov. Now hoping to get on base a different way here. A 3-1 swing and ground ball over the left side. Picked up by the third baseman there. Pike will go across the diamond to the first baseman, Kelly, in time for the first out. So Will Matheson now 0 for 4 this evening, as that'll give way to Drew Curtis. He'll come to the plate. Also appears to be some more action down there in the GreyWolves bullpen. It actually looks like, I thought it was Ryan Smith, as actually it had him slated to pitch the 9th inning, but it didn't have Cunningham, at least on that original list from Barkis, to be pitching tonight, so I thought that this one may have been a chance that Ryan Smith could have got an appearance, as this one is laced into left field by Drew Curtis. So a base knock there for the left fielder for Gresham. That's his second of the evening, as he singled in his very first at-bat, now 2 for 4. Also had a line out to the first baseman. So Drew Curtis obviously seeing the ball very well this evening, and now will give way to Ben Klenke, who will come to the plate. Now, Ben Klenke in a bit of a precarious situation, currently with the hat trick. He's struck out looking twice, has struck out swinging once, and at this point, looking to avoid anyone but Josh Henderson on the mound as he'll take a first pitch fastball outside 1-0. And fortunately for him, the Perth Heat making the change with Blade Hader coming on the mound. So hopefully Klenke, who obviously did not see the lefty-lefty matchup very well, now with an opportunity with a right-hander mound to get a different look, possibly have a positive result as he takes ball 2. And speaking of Hendrickson, I was very impressed with the lanky left-hander. Just 18 years old was the report. However, able to do a variety of things up there on the bump, and striking out batters was certainly one of them. Throughout this ball game, had 5 through the previous 3 innings and K'd 6 to begin the ballgame. He struck out the first 2 of the side as this one a soft line drive right to the shortstop, Permanoff. He'll make the play on and grab it for the second out of this inning as Curtis will scamper back to first. Nonetheless, a total of 11 strikeouts in just 6 innings for the left-handed pitcher, Hendrickson. Also a Perth native, as now Ty Wyatt will come to the plate. And Wyatt, along with Snyder, the 2 loudest hits of the evening, and have produced 4/5, or rather I should say 2/3, 4/6 of the GreyWolves runs this evening. As now Ty Wyatt sends a deep fly ball to left field. And this one is hooking foul. Wyatt almost had himself another one. In fact, in batting practice, he put one out of Volcanoes Stadium. Nearly did that one there. I believe it got over the second fence down there in left field. Already has himself 1 home run this evening, and that was an Oppo Taco out beyond the Coors Light sign in right field. And just missed one there. As now hitter will step off the mound. So that's going to go as a long out for Wyatt, who's 1 for 3, and that home run is his only hit. Obviously a run scored in an RBI, but also did reach base in the 6th on a shortstop error, as he now is far out in front of this one and just fell there right beyond the chalk over at third base. Had to be just a couple of inches foul as it graced over the bag there. And now 0-2 here to Wyatt. Has been swinging early often, and Ty Wyatt actually a former teammate of mine at Willamette University. I can go on about his approach for days, but really aggressive early in the count. As soon as he sees a ball in the strike zone, going to go after it. Maybe a little too aggressive here as he now strikes out, chased a fastball high and out of the strike zone as Wyatt is down on strikes for the second time this evening. And the GreyWolves strand 1. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on as we go to the 8th now here at Volcanoes Stadium. The bottom of the order do it for the Heat when we return. Pike, Mirmal, and Isle after this quick break here on Gresham GreyWolves Baseball Live.
Bum, ba-da-dum, da-da-dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
And so now just about set to go here to begin the 8th inning at Volcanoes Stadium. The right-hander Jeremy Smith out of the bullpen on the mound. So Trevor Huddleston finishes a 1-2-3 7th inning to start his GreyWolf career in a spectacular outing right there. Definitely going to build some confidence moving forward into this All-Star break. Now hopefully a chance for Jeremy Smith, the right-hander, from Grand Canyon University, 5'11", 165 pounds, going into his junior season. Hopefully an opportunity for him to build some of the similar confidence that Huddleston, I'm sure, did after his outing. Making his 5th appearance, his own 1 record. He's only managed to throw 3 1/3 innings so far out of the bullpen. 5 strikeouts as well as 5 walks. So hopefully Smith can remain in and around the strike zone here, as the first batter he will face will be Pike, and splinters this bat off to the right side. Definitely going to be a foul ball for strike 1, but he'll have to find himself a new piece of lumber as he flips that one back to the dugout. And that one split, a clean split right down the middle. Off the top of the, or I should say the end of the bat, kind of capped it, if you will. So he'll head back to the plate. And Smith has got himself already a bit of a psychological advantage here in this at-bat over Pike, who's 0 for 3. Couple of strikeouts, popped out to the catcher, with the runner in scoring position in his last at-bat. Now the second pitch on the way here. Fastball swung on and missed. So Smith, who's thrown 3 1/3, last couple outings, at least his last 3 innings, has only given up 1 earned run. July 5th, July 3rd made back-to-back appearances against Walla Walla, as this breaking ball doesn't bend too far enough inside, called for ball 1. Give up an earned run against the Swedes back on July 5th, also a hit and a walk, but did strike out 2. And had a scoreless inning, as this one is flipped down the left field line, but gonna hook foul there into the bullpen area of the GreyWolves. Looked like Donovan Ramirez almost had himself a souvenir down there, but nonetheless had to let that one go. And a long strike as we do it again here, 1 and 2. So the problem originally with Jeremy Smith is the pitch now on the way, another breaking ball blocked in the dirt there by Cairo. At least in his first outing back on June 21st against Cowlitz, had some trouble commanding the strike zone. Only 1 walk, but did hit a few batters, as well as giving up 2 hits that led to 2 earned runs through just 1/3 of an inning. Ended up losing that game 4-3. As this one misses low, and now the count runs full. Has faced a total of 21 batters so far in this summer season, exclusively working from the stretch. As the payoff pitch now on the way. Fastball, outside corner, ring him up. A beautifully placed two-seamer ran back over the outside edge from Jeremy Smith, and that is strike 3 here to Kyle Pike to begin this 8th. So now Dan Miramel will come to the plate, as he's had quite a bit of success this evening. Couple of base hits, 2 for 3, with a double as well as a single, also 2 runs scored. So a nice challenge here for Smith. With 1 out, nobody on. GreyWolves playing a little further in than I think they normally do, probably just based on the pure confines of this park in comparison to Osland Field. 325 down the right field line, as well as the left field line. However, after the 350 towards sort of the end of the left field area, as this breaking ball bends back in over the inside edge, 0-2. After it hits 350 out towards left, screams out towards dead center in 405. And that's about where the batter's eye is as well. As this one, he's late on it. Line drive over to the first base. One hops Nick Snyder. Covering over at first base is Jeremy Smith in the throw. It's in time. A nice covering right there by Jeremy Smith. Able to hustle his way over to first base. And a nice job by Nick Snyder, who at first base hasn't necessarily been the most consistently gold glove making plays first type of first baseman. However, right there, able to knock the ball down, keep it in front, and make the play over to first base. Now 2 outs. So I mentioned the confines of the park, and you can really tell with the way, especially Perrin playing out in center field, just about, I would say, a little even more than halfway in towards the infield in comparison to center field. So the outfielders for Gresham, in addition, Clanky out in right, playing a little shallow, as well as Curtis in left, definitely going to make these Heat hitters prove themselves with their power, as this one is tapped off to the left here. Now the count is even at 1-1. However, we got ourselves a close ball game, 6-5 here in the top of the 8th. GreyWolves with 2 more at-bats coming up, hopefully can at least put 1 across here in the bottom of this frame. They have the hit lead, or I should say advantage in this case, 9-7. So they have the more hits, although the Perth have been able to take advantage of more opportunities, as this curveball misses high and inside, 2 balls and a strike. They've been able to plate 4 in the third, 1 in the fourth. And really that third inning was where they really took advantage of the inability of the left-hander Kyle Scott to command the strike zone. It's now a 3-1 pitch on the way here. Fastball right down the plate, tapped off and over to the left. Foul. Just beyond the GreyWolves dugout there. And the GreyWolves offense immediately looked like it was going to come out and have the opportunity or the chance to probably put up a 10 spot, as this is tipped in the glove of the catcher, Keizer, strike 3. A nice pitch there from Jeremy Smith to get himself back into the dugout. So Huddleston, now Smith, 1, 2, 3 they go. The last 6 Heat batters retired as we head to the bottom of the 8th here at Volcanoes Stadium. Coming up for the GreyWolves, it'll be Matt Keizer, Curtis Perrin, and Jordan Barkus all due up when we return here on Gresham GreyWolves Live. The GreyWolves trail 6-5.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham GreyWolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
If you are looking for an award-winning institution of higher education that is touching lives in many ways, look no further than Mount Hood Community College. For 50 years, MHCC has been an economic engine that brings hundreds of millions of dollars into our community, while also providing great educational services to area residents. No matter what you're interested in, MHCC has a place for you. To learn more, visit our website at mhcc.edu. Mount Hood Community College, transforming lives, building communities. And so now we're just about ready to go here in the bottom of the 8th as Matt Keizer will step to the plate for the GreyWolves. And Keizer, in a season that has seen some offensive woes from the backstop for Gresham, it really has come on nicely in this game and provided a bit of a spark there at the bottom of the order. It's just 1 for 1, however, has been on base all 3 times this evening, has singled, at least that came back in the 6th, ended up coming around to score as he sort of put his team in an opportunity to plate multiple runners as the pitcher for the Heat, Blade Hader, back out on the mound and misses with the first pitch low here outside 1-0. Keizer also hit by a pitch, walked back in the second at a full count, so really has had 3 quality at-bats, which is what Justin Barkus, the head coach for the GreyWolves, harps on and has done so throughout the entirety of this season. And even after the GreyWolves came back from their road trip, this is something I spoke with Barkus about, at least in that first game before they played against Victoria. This one a little too far inside. Did not get Keizer, though. He spun out of the way of that one. Tipped off the glove of the catcher that time, Tilly. However, Barkus talked about the fact that he thought that his Gresham team, while they had 5 out of 6 on the road, had not been playing their best baseball. Now, I think one can make the argument as Keizer takes strike 2, that they certainly were able to play their best baseball against the Harbor Cats, despite dropping the second game and the only loss in that series, 12-4. I mean, whether it be late in ball games or early in ball games, having to fight back from deficits, as they faced a 3-0 deficit actually in that third game. This one taken high and inside, another full count worked here by Keizer. They were able to bounce back and just find ways, which I think is really the most important part of this offense. Is now ball 4 taken by Keizer. So 2 walks and a hit by pitch as that on-base percentage continues to climb. And Matt Keizer finds himself aboard here to begin the bottom of the 8th. And back to Barkus's point, I think that it is true in the sense that the GreyWolves possibly have not played their best baseball. Although, as Curtis Perrin will now step to the plate, they really have, made leaps and bounds offensively, defensively, pitching-wise. Their starting pitching has been great, or at least was on that road trip. Not necessarily the best against the Harbor Cats, but they really leaned on their offense in certain situations, especially late in the ball game, to take over and get after that Victoria bullpen. All throughout that ball game, or rather that series, I should say, as the 1-0 on the way misses high and outside 2-0. It seemed like whenever Victoria especially in the first and the third game of the series, whenever they drew ahead, or at least drew blood, the GreyWolves found a way to fight back and at the very least put themselves in a situation where they could get a victory. And not to say that they would put up these monster innings, 6 or 7 runs in one inning, or even 3 like they have tonight. They were able to take advantage of a 5-run fourth last night to kind of pull away. However, the majority of the games they've been winning, especially on the road, all 5 of them they won by 2 runs or less. So obviously a bit of a clutch factor coming in here, and not just offensively too. I mean, on the mound in an extra inning victory over 11 innings, I believe it was against Wenatchee, they used 4 different pitchers, all of which who did not, or at least combined, did not allow a single earned run. So they've had some very impressive performances, and we got to talk a little bit with Josh Adams in the second inning, and of course Fletcher Like, my broadcast partner, was able to talk to Carter Book and Michael Clark, 2 bullpen pitchers for the GreyWolves. As now Curtis Perrin draws a walk. So back-to-back free bases here handed out by the right-hander Hayter, and that'll bring Jordan Barkus to the plate with nobody out. And it looks like that will bring the head coach now out for the Heat. So this one actually possibly not the head coach, Tim Lamont, who I saw him out there before the ball game, taking ground balls with his team. He actually participated in batting practice as well. So a very hands-on coach. And that's, I believe, what a lot of these players need. A lot of youth on this squad is Lamont now talking to 4 of his players all around the infield. And a lot of that has also been seen on the GreyWolves side as well. I think in particular from Michael Pena, the hitting coach, is just a couple years removed, in fact, from playing professional independent baseball. Played with the Vallejo Admirals in 2014, so not far removed from the playing days himself, and now has sort of moved over to the coaching role. And he's very hands-on as well, gets in and takes ground balls with his players during batting practice, not necessarily taking hacks, but right there beside the cage to have an opportunity to pass on his knowledge to a lot of these hitters. As now Lamont back in the dugout. Hayter has his sign, and we're set to go as Barkus will step in. First pitch on the way. Sack bunt attempt. Right back to the pitcher, Hayter. He will turn now. No. And so turn over to first base. Picked over there nicely by Kelly. And he is out. It appeared like the foot might have come off the bag, or at least from my perch here at the broadcast booth. It appeared like that foot came up, but apparently Kelly able to keep his foot on the bag there. So Barkus is out on the 1-3 put out. More importantly, though, Perrin moves up to second base and Keizer moves over to third. So still a quality at-bat there for Barkus. As he'll have a chat with his older brother, Justin. Now, if throughout the broadcast you were wondering, and I believe Book along with Clark and Fletcher alluded to it earlier, but Justin Barkus, the head coach, is in fact the older brother of the second baseman, Jordan Barkus. In fact, Scott Barkus, the father of both of those Barkuses, so a trio is in place with Gresham. Scott is, in fact, one of the assistant head coaches. And so now Johnson will re-step in the box. Runners on second and third. Corners in. Middle infield back as Barkus, Johnson will send a ground ball over to the left, out of play, foul. As Perrin's going to be able to get a big lead from second base. Nobody really holding him on, as the infielders up the middle are conceding that run outside. Now this one, a fastball gets away from the catcher here, Tilly. Incoming Keizer, and he will score without a throw. Tilly let that ball get away from him, likely going to be a pass ball, which I believe is the official call. Pass ball, yes, is the official call. So Perrin will move up to third base, and in comes Keizer as we have ourselves a tie ball game now here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Some excitement going on late for the Gresham GreyWolves, and now the Heat will be forced to draw their infield in. And in fact, with the situation with one out, I was surprised to see the middle infield back, especially in such a close ball game. They were just up by 1 run as now Hayter will fire a pitch. Breaking ball doesn't get too far inside, and that is called for ball 2. Ball 3, as now Johnson's going to have a pitch to hit right here. Hayter in the stretch. Now fires up and in, and that'll be ball 4. So 3 walks here in this inning from the arm of Hayter. As it appears we're going to have a pitching change. Here comes Tim Lamont back out to the mound, and nobody was warming up in the bullpen, so we'll have to wait after this pitching change to see who's coming in. Nonetheless, we'll take a quick break here on Gresham GreyWolves Live. We got a tie ball game here with runners at the corners. I'm Evan Giddings. Don't go anywhere.
Bum, ba-da-dum, da-da-dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford. We'll all donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham GreyWolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
If you are looking for an award-winning institution of higher education that is touching lives in many ways, look no further than Mount Hood Community College. For 50 years, MHCC has been an economic engine that brings hundreds of millions of dollars into our community, while also providing great educational services to area residents. No matter what you're interested in, MHCC has a place for you. To learn more, visit our website at mhcc.edu. Mount Hood Community College, transforming lives, building communities. And so now finish with that pitching change here at Volcanoes Stadium as Nick Snyder will step into the box to face the right-hander Hamish Foreman as the first pitch on the way is fired in for a strike. Check swing there by Snyder, but didn't appear to matter at that point as Snyder steps in to the box. 1 for 4. Excuse me. He had, of course, that 3-run home run back in the first inning out to right field as now the count is evened up by a curveball low. Grounded out to the second baseman. In fact, at the time was Hamish Foreman. And Newly inserted second baseman will try and get that name for you as quickly as we can as we can see his number. And this one, a curveball in the dirt, gets away from the catcher. Incoming Perrin, he will score, and the GreyWolves have the lead. Taking advantage of a couple of wild pitches here. One plating Cairo, and now Curtis Perrin coming in off the arm of Hamish Foreman. Unable to get that ball up and out and into the strike zone. Having a tough time blocking it. Back there's Cameron Tilley. The GreyWolves able to take advantage. So now 7-6, they have the lead as Johnson will move up to second base. Now Snyder will go to work. Big swing and a miss there. And it's 2-2. 9 hits for the GreyWolves. They haven't actually had a hit so far this inning, yet have plated 2. 3 walks, all handed out by Blade Hayter, the right-hander who began this inning. Was only able to get 1 out and handed out a total of 3 free bases. And now Johnson will head over to third base, and he had it by a mile, but Snyder, having to protect in a 2-2 count, fights that one off. A heads-up play there by Johnson, understanding that Foreman may be trying to take advantage a bit of the youth on this Heat team, and understanding that Foreman hadn't varied his timing at second base. Of course, now he'll give him a long look back there. As this pitch on the way, fastball up and in, that got Snyder on the elbow. No problem there. Snyder's a tough one. We'll head down to first base Another hit by pitch here from Perth. The only other one, I believe, was off of Jack Johnson. Now make that Matt Cairo. So 2 hit by pitches so far this evening. A total of 4 free bases handed out in this inning alone here by the Perth Heat. And so now we got an interesting at-bat coming to the plate. Gabe Benavides will come to the plate for the Gresham GreyWolves. And in fact, Carter Book earlier in the broadcast during the middle innings with Fletcher and Michael Clark talked about how Gabe Benavides might get an at-bat. And here we have it as he takes ball one high. And the dugout certainly getting into this one. Everyone up on the steps, up on the railings for the GreyWolves, cheering on what we knew as a PO and now officially has joined the ranks of the two-way players. This one, slow tapper off to the left foul. Looked like Johnson was heading towards third base, but decided to halt up. Snyder likely not going anywhere over there at first base. Nonetheless, 2 runners on here for Gabe Benavides. Pinch hitting for Will Matheson, so we'll see who comes into play third base, as Benavides is left-handed. Now, I would be very surprised to see a third baseman here. And now Jack Johnson caught in a rundown. Good pick off there by the pitcher, Foreman, and they got him in between second and third. Snyder advances to second base, so the only place to go is third, and a foot-first slide, rather head-first, and he is safe. Gets under the tag there of Hamish Foreman. And being a middle infielder, you got to think that Foreman might have been able to apply the tag a little quicker and a little better. Of course, the second baseman has to receive throws down from second base, and with the guy coming in head first, Johnson just simply went right around the tag. And so a nice play there from Jack Johnson. He had nowhere to go. I believe the shortstop Paramanoff had the ball. All he had to do was give it to the pitcher covering Foreman, and they would have had him out. With Snyder at second, they would have a twin situation, as now Benavides back in the box with runners at second and third. Takes a ball high and in, 2-1. And you got to think that had he known that Snyder was behind him, that he would have just thrown it to third and been able to get Johnson out. So now Benavides takes ball 3. So some miscommunication there defensively there for the Perth Heat, and it could come back to cost them. Instead of 2 outs with a runner on second, now 1 out with runners on second and third. They got to bring the infield in, and Benavides will come to the plate, and he's hit right in between the one. I believe directly down that middle insignia on the back of his jersey, as Gabe Benavides has earned himself his first base as a Gresham GreyWolf. So back-to-back hit by pitches here from Foreman, as that will bring out his pitching coach here, Tim Lamont, to have a quick chat with him. Not sure if they're going to be making any type of changes around the infield. And again, I mentioned this earlier in the game, how there are only 17 members of the Heat traveling. So not a lot of pitcher-onlys in this situation, probably the reason that Foreman is throwing. And so now it appears that we'll have a pitching change. Someone swapping around the infield. We'll try and get the changes for you after this break here on Gresham GreyWolves Live. They have the lead, 7-6. Don't go anywhere.
Bum, ba-da-dum, da-da-dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford, where I'll donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham GreyWolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
If you are looking for an award-winning institution of higher education that is touching lives in many ways, look no further than Mount Hood Community College. For 50 years, MHCC has been an economic engine that brings hundreds of millions of dollars into our community, while also providing great educational services to area residents. No matter what you're interested in, MHCC has a place for you. To learn more, visit our website. And so now we're finished with that pitching change here at Volcano Stadium. It will be Grant Carey on the mound, the right-hander for the Perth Heat, as he fires the first pitch ball outside here to Drew Curtis. So the bases are loaded for the GreyWolves, just one out. Jack Johnson on third, Nick Snyder on second base, and Gabe Benavides on first. As now the second pitch, fastball missing low in the dirt, blocked there by Tilley. As we've had a couple of pass balls get away from the catcher and the backstop, allowing 2 runs to score. Cairo came in on a wild pitch, as well as Perrin. All 3 bases handed out this inning as Curtis will tap this one off to the right. Kind of capped it on the end of the bat there. So 2-1 here to the GreyWolf left fielder. And obviously with Benavides on first, I think they kind of will tell you how Barkis, it's not that he's taking this game as a joke or like he's not taking it seriously. It's still a competition in which his team obviously wants to win. At this one, this is low for ball 3. However, with the All-Star break coming up and plenty of chances to get guys in that haven't played as much this season, as well as provide rest to other starters, this one roped down the left field line, and it is foul. Foul by about 10 feet there for Curtis, as that'll run the count full. But I think Benavides getting in that bat, it really just speaks to the easiness and calmness about head coach Justin Barkis. In addition, another bit of information that kind of supports that as this pitch runs low, and that'll be ball 4. Walks in a run here as Curtis will take his base. On coming Jack Johnson. Now an 8-6 ball game here at Volcano Stadium. So with the first base position, currently we have pitching coach Ian Sanderson out there. Generally, it's Michael Pena. And if that wasn't enough, in fact, earlier in the ball game, Ryan Rodriguez, the first baseman, typically playing first base for Gresham, was actually the first base coach for, I believe, the first 6 innings of this ball game. Might have had to go warm up for a possible pinch hit appearance, as now Ben Klenke will step up and takes a fastball over the heart of the plate for strike 1. And Rodriguez being shut down for the remainder of this season, not due to injury, although he had a bit of a back problem that held him out of last night's game against Victoria, as this 0-1 way outside here to even it up at a ball and a strike. Rodriguez, in fact, is going to be going back to Utah, where he attends college at Dixie State University. Is going to be taking summer school classes there in order to compete. As this one is roped down the first base line past Kyle Pike. That's going to get into the corner. Picking it up is Isle in right field. He'll play it in, but not before 2 GreyWolves score. Snyder and Benavides from third and second base, and they have blown it open here in the bottom of the 8th. A total of 4 runs now here collected in the bottom of the 8th for the Gresham GreyWolves. They now hold the lead by a total of 4, 10-6 here. So when you give the GreyWolves extra opportunities at the plate, at some point they're going to make you pay for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 free bases handed out by Heat pitchers in this inning. 3 via the walk, 2 via the hit by pitch. Rather, I should say 4 walks now with Drew Curtis. He actually got an RBI off that walk, as now Ty Wyatt will step to the plate and take ball 1. And it appears like finally some action beginning to brew down there for the Heat. Wyatt already with 1 home run and an RBI tonight, looking to find himself a little more big swing and a miss there as he gets tied up with a fastball in the inside corner here 1-1. So not quite sure if Grant Carey has had plenty of experience as a pitcher, neither as Foreman, as this one again swung on a miss, chased another high fastball, and now it's 1-2. Wyatt looking to avoid the hat trick. He's already struck out twice tonight, in addition to that solo shot. An impressive blast out to right field. And now Carey will step off the mound. And like I was saying, Carey along with Foreman listed here as position players first. Carey generally playing outfield and catcher, although we saw him at first base this evening. There's a 1-2 on the way. Curveball in the dirt. Bounces as it gets away from the catcher, Tilley, but they're going to hold Curtis at third base. And I think rightfully so. Not necessarily giving up on the play, but Curtis didn't look like he got a great read off that and made the smart play to hold up at first. Ben Clakey also on second, and Clakey was really struggling this evening. Had 3 strikeouts, a line out, and up to the point was 0 for 4, but finally able to get back in the hit category with a 2 RBI double. Now the 2-2 on the way. That one in the left-handed batter's box. Gloved nicely there by Tilley, though. So the count is full here to Wyatt. Hamish Foreman officially listed as a utility player by position, although just a sophomore in high school, so maybe not used to this type of stage. As the 3-2 on the way. Ball 4. I felt like I've said that so many times this inning, a total of now 5 free bases on 4 balls dished out by the Heat pitchers. And officially the 10th batter, the one who led off this inning, Matt Cairo, will come to the plate. Ty Wyatt was number 9, as now he'll load the bases. Curtis on third, Clinky on second, and now Wyatt was on first. Had a base open there, did Carey, and decided to use it. Is now Cairo, who has not gotten out tonight, will come to the plate. And a fastball here bounces back in the dirt, and Curtis will jog home. He's going to be able to coast on in as that one skipped away from the catcher, Tilley. And another wild pitch results in another Grey Wolf run here now 11-6. And so now it appears like we're going to have another meeting here between the Heat infielders, the catcher Tilley, along with the first baseman now, Kyle Pike. So Pike, who was playing third base, he goes to first. Hamish, who is pitching, moves over to third base, as we're doing this somewhat Little League style here in not following the NCAA rules, which should make sense because the Heat, in fact, I believe a lot of their players aren't even qualified for college play at this point. A lot of them high schoolers, the oldest one age 20, as it appears we're going to have another pitching change. So we'll take a quick break here on Gresham GreyWolves Live, as the GreyWolves have now put up 6 runs in this inning. They hold the lead 11-6. I'm Evan Giddings, and I hope you'll stay with us here after this quick break.
Finding the right dentist for your young children can be challenging. At Gresham Pediatric Dentistry, we understand the importance of helping your child feel comfortable in the dental chair. Since 2007, Dr. Jiyoung Lee has helped many young patients in the Gresham area, and she can help your child too. Request your appointment today at GreshamPediatricDentistry.com.
It's a howlin' good time down at the Lucky Pint, where we have 30 rotating taps, happy hour all day on Sundays, fishbowl Fridays, or just come down and fill up a growler. The Lucky Pint is the home of Gresham GreyWolves, where we honor service members with a 20% discount every Monday. Check us out on Facebook to see our latest cocktails and craft beer list, and then come in and see for yourself what all the excitement is all about. Located at 1888 Northwest Fairview Parkway in Gresham, your locally owned place for craft beer and cocktails in Gresham.
If you are looking for an award-winning institution of higher education that is touching lives in many ways, look no further than Mount Hood Community College. For 50 years, MHCC has been an economic engine that brings hundreds of millions of dollars into our community, while also providing great educational services to area residents. No matter what you're interested in, MHCC has a place for you. To learn more, visit our website at mhcc.edu. Mount Hood Community College, transforming lives, building communities. And so now we're just about finished with that pitching change here in the broadcast booth at Volcanoes Stadium. Evan bringing you baseball here in the form of Gresham GreyWolves versus the Perth Heat, an international opponent that early on this game looked like a pretty competitive bout. However, as of this 8th inning, The GreyWolves have really ran away with it. Chris Hendrickson, a right-handed arm, in on the mound to replace Grant Carey, who was only able to face a couple of batters, hit one of them and Gabe Benavides, and then walked Drew Curtis, gave up a double to Ben Klenke, and then walked Ty Wyatt, as now Keizer will take a first pitch strike here from Hendrickson. So a good sign there to at least see the ball in the strike zone. Although the GreyWolves, being in full counts 3 times this inning, have each time come up with a positive result here as ball 1 is tossed to Keizer. Keizer, in fact, led off this inning, so the 10th batter of the bottom of the 8th came around to score off a wild pitch, but he walked in a full count. Drew Curtis walked in a full count, and then most recently Ty Wyatt walked in a full count as well. As this one has popped up over down the right field line, over and actually more near the first base area, and Kyle Pike is able to make the play for the first out. Rather, the second out of the inning. I nearly forgot that there had been an out recorded. Jordan Barkis, a 1-3 put out, and he was the 3rd batter of the inning. So since that point, 6 batters have come to the plate before the next out recorded, and 6 runs put up in this inning by the Gresham GreyWolves as they hold the lead 11-6. So now with 2 outs, Curtis Perrin will step to the box. He's 1 for 4, single and a walk. Wrong with runs scored. First pitch on the way to him is a fastball on the outside edge for strike 1. And I'm not quite sure if there's any relation between these two. Chris Hendrickson shares the last name with Josh Hendrickson, who, of course, was the starting pitcher of this ball game. One right-handed, one left-handed, as this one misses too far inside. However, both of them seniors, and both from Canberra, Australia. Or rather, Perth, Australia, excuse me. So kind of local boys in relation to the team, as now the 1-1 big swing and miss there from Perrin. Down in a hole now, 1-2. Although both of those players, at least throughout this ball game, have been really the only ones to consistently stay in the strike zone. Josh Hendrickson was fantastic, if you ask me tonight. Really only made 1 bad pitch. You could argue 2, as he gave up 2 home runs, resulting in 4 runs. As this one is swung on and missed, Perrin goes down swinging, as that will retire the side. So we'll head to the 9th inning here at Volcano Stadium. Coming up for the Heat, it'll be the top of the order in Foreman, Permanoff, and Tilley. When we return, the GreyWolves have the lead now, 11-6.
Bum, ba-da-dum, da-da-dum. You are in a quest full of danger and excitement. Your path clouded by deception and dead ends that could cost you dearly. You have to fight off dangerous snakes and vicious jackals, savage headhunters and shark-infested waters. You don't know who to trust, and all you want is to buy a new car. I'm Bess Wills at Gresham Ford, and getting the car or truck you need doesn't have to be a dangerous adventure of epic proportions. At Gresham Ford, you won't find any snakes, weasels, or other predators, and you don't have to worry if you are going to get pillaged. All dealers pay the same for the cars they sell. We just help you get the new or used vehicle you need without all the drama. If you want an adventure full of shady characters, crooked deals, and nasty vermin, go to the movies. If you want to get the best built cars and trucks in America, come to Gresham Ford, where I'll donate $100 to the church or charity of your choice with every vehicle you purchase at Gresham Ford. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
So now Jeremy Smith back out of the mound here for the top of the 9th, hoping to close things out here against the team from Australia, the team from down under, the Perth Heat, as we have ourselves an 11-6 ball game in favor of the GreyWolves, and really the majority of those runs coming in the bottom of the 8th. They put a 6th spot up against the combination of Hamish Foreman, Grant Carey, and then Chris Hendrickson, who came on to record the last out and get the strikeout, but pretty much all the damage done by the time he entered the ball game. Keizer led off with a walk, followed by another 5-pitch walk to Curtis Perrin. Then with 1 out, Johnson walked again. Snyder was hit by a pitch to bring in a run, as was Benavides. And after a couple wild pitches, now brought in some more. Ben Klenke doubled down the first base line. That was a 2 RBI double. Ty Wyatt walked to load the bases before eventually Keizer and Perrin were retired. As a total of 11 base runners came to the plate in that inning, resulting in 6 runs for the GreyWolves. And now a 1-1 count here to Hamish Foreman, who started that inning on the mound. Hoping to do a little more damage at the plate here, as he had a rough one out there on the bump and sprays this one nearly fair over to the first base line, picked up by Snyder, foul. As he's 1 for 3, a single, fielder's choice, as well as a run scored and a walk. On deck, it'll be Julian Peramanoff and Tilly, although they'll have to put up quite a few more batters than that in order to try and get back in this ball game. As this breaking ball misses too far outside to even it up at 2-2. Now the GreyWolves with 11 runs, however, only 10 hits. And likely the reason was because of the amount of free bases handed out, as this one misses too far high and outside, full count. In fact, during that 6-run inning, only one hit. And that came in the form of Ben Clanky in that double. It's a payoff pitch on the way. Fastball popped up backwards over to the right. We'll do it again. And throughout this ball game, apart from the starter Hendrickson, who I was talking about the end of the last inning, his dazzling performance tonight as Smith runs a ball high here, ball 4 to Foreman. That'll bring now Peramanoff to the plate. So a base runner here to begin the 9th inning for the Heat. But nonetheless, to their starter Hendrickson, Josh Hendrickson, was fantastic throughout. He struck out the side in the first and the second, despite giving up 3 runs off of one swing off the bat of Nick Sider in the first inning, was able to bear down and get back-to-back strikeouts to end that side, then went after he gave up a walk, as this one is called a ball here, the first pitch of the at-bat to Peramanoff, struck out Mitchell Jr., Jordan Barkis, and Jack Johnson all swinging. Got 1 more K in the 3rd, 2 more in the 4th, and 1 more in the 6th. Total of 11 this evening as Smith just misses there, now 2-0. So with a runner on first, Smith is going to be tasked with getting the final outs of this ball game. Total of 5 GreyWolf pitchers so far as this one is flipped up and back just beyond the screen there. So opportunity for a free souvenir for a lucky young fan as they see one streaking across the crossway right here. Nonetheless, it seemed like a pretty good night in terms of attendance and the amount of fans they were able to get out here as this one is swung on and missed. Now 2-2. Not necessarily a packed house, but with the following, especially from Perth, obviously not being able to bring any fans out here. The GreyWolves did travel well out from Gresham as the 2-2 runs high and inside here, another full count. So kudos to them getting out here. And in fact, we have one Keizer native on the team, Ty Wyatt, who attends Willamette University, a Division III college right here in Salem, just about 10 minutes south as this one runs too far high and inside again, ball 4. So Foreman will head up to second base. Peramanoff takes his bag at first, and now it'll be Cameron Tilley's turn to come to the plate with a runner in scoring position.
Catcher number 10, Cameron Tilley.
Tilley's 1 for 4, couple of strikeouts as well as a RBI ground out and a single, so 1 for 4 with a run batted in. He brought in Dan Mermel back in the 4th after Mermel reached on a single, was doubled over by Sandinile, then eventually was brought around by Tilley as this one is in for a strike, 0-1. Nicholas Hurst awaiting on deck. He came in, of course, for Kai Vasilakis. That was all the way back in the 3rd inning. It's now Smith. The high leg kick in the fire. Fastball runs too far high. It's 1-1. So at this point, this part of the ball game, being up 5 runs in the 9th inning, not necessarily an insurmountable deficit for the Heat, but certainly not exactly in reach as this fastball catches the inside corner. And a nice frame there by Cairo to get the call 1-2. So Smith always working from the stretch. He'd been able to get a higher leg kick with a runner on second now as the 1-2 on the way. Changeup swung on a miss. Pulled the string right there with an off-speed pitch. And Cameron Tilley is down on strikes. A nice spot for it there as after surrendering 2 walks, able to get back in the strike zone and able to earn himself his 3rd strikeout so far tonight. K'd up Kyle Pike to begin the 8th inning. Got him looking in a full count. And then in another full count, struck out Sandinile swinging. Didn't take as many pitches to get Cameron Tilley right here as now Nicholas Hurst will come to the plate. He's 0 for 3. 3 groundouts as he lofts this one into deep left center field, giving chase his parent, and he will not be able to make the catch. The ball will fall. He'll have to play it back in. They're going to send the runner at third base, hold the one all the way from first as Hamish Foreman will come in to score all the way from second base on kind of a delayed run Parent appeared like he would have a play on it, and then unfortunately just beyond the outstretched arms there of our center fielder in Gresham. And that caused Nicholas Hurst to have himself an RBI double. Foreman comes in, cuts the lead to 4, now 11-7. So Hurst is able to break out of his slump right there. Now Newborn will come to the plate. He's swinging too, but pops this one up foul off to the right out of play. So Smith had been mowing him down. And in fact, this bullpen for Gresham had not surrendered a run since the 5th inning. This one lays past the second baseman Barkis into right field. That's going to bring in 1 run. Clanky will play it in and cut off right there by the first baseman Snyder. Is able to keep it in front as Paramanoff comes in to score. And Hurst will head over to third base. So another run there for the Heat, trying to make things interesting here in this top of the 9th inning. And now a save situation for Jeremy Smith and the tying run coming to the plate and Grant Carey. Runners at the corners, 1 out. Double play ball would certainly be Smith's best friend in this situation. And a chance to end the ball game right here should he get that ball on the ground. Johnson at shortstop, Barkis at second. Able to turn him pretty quickly as the first pitch on the way. Swung on and missed. Went upstairs with a fastball that time, and it's 0-1. Carey's 0 for 4. 3 ground outs and a fly out. As the second pitch on the way, fastball. Might have tried to hump up a little bit that time, missed too high, 1-1. And so every batter this inning, apart from Tilley, that had trouble reaching base earlier in the ballgame, Paramanoff, Hurst, both of them have found themselves on base, and Hurst, of course, delivering the biggest blow with the RBI double as now Smith gets ahead 1-2 here to Carey. RBI single for Newborn as well, as that was his first base knock, was 0 for 2, as now the runner will take off. Ground ball over the left side. Picked up right there by Matheson. He'll go across the diamond to first. Back on over to third base. Johnson's there, and it's out. Ball game over as the Gresham GreyWolves turn a very unconventional but effective double play there. In fact, I believe the third baseman, Drew Curtis, in fact, was the one inserted at third base, came in that time and was able to go across the diamond, and Nick Snyder, a heads-up play to go back across to third base. Covering nicely was the shortstop Johnson, and that's all she wrote. 11-8, the Gresham GreyWolves are able to reclaim the victory and win this international bout between themselves and the Perth Heat, all the way down from Australia, as we had ourselves quite an interesting ball game here today. Plenty of offense and plenty of highlights to go over, as we'll begin that right now on the GreyWolves postgame show. So the scoring got started in the first for Gresham, as Barkis and Johnson with 1 out hit back-to-back singles before Nick Snyder blasted a 3-run shot out to right field. And then fast forward to the top of the third, it was the turn for the Heat to respond as they plated 4. Now, a leadoff double by Mermel put him in scoring position. Isle walked, and after a fielder's choice that went wrong, the starting pitcher for the GreyWolves, Brett Ganaway, that was the reliever that came in, Kyle Scott, went to second base, was not in time to get Isle there. That loaded the bases, of which Paramanoff unloaded them with a double down the right field line. That brought in all 3 runners, and then a single by Cameron Tilley ended up bringing him in at third base. That's how they took the lead at that point and ended up adding 1 more in the top of the 4th. Mermel singled, followed by an Isle double, and then with an out and the bases loaded, Tilley brought in 1 run on an RBI ground out. However, the GreyWolves did respond. Ty Wyatt with an Oppo Taco home run out beyond the Coors Light sign, a solo blast to draw them within 1. However, the Perth, they kept on adding on as Newborn led off with a triple, was brought in by an RBI ground out. They gave him the 2-run lead, and the GreyWolves ended up drawing within 1 again after Cairo singled after Ty Wyatt reached base. Then after Cairo got to first base on a single, ended up coming around on a Jordan Barkis single out into right field. And then, of course, that huge 8th inning for the GreyWolves, a total of 8 bases handed out, 6 of them walks, 2 of them hit by pitches, and capitalized by a 2-out, 2 RBI double by Ben Clanky. 11 batters come around, 6 end up coming in. The Perth Heat did end up putting up 2 in there in the 9th. as Jeremy Smith collected his first save for the GreyWolves, but nonetheless a great victory for Gresham as they hit into the All-Star break at a 7-2 record atop the Southern Division in the West Coast League and have all the momentum riding forward. So we'll see you again on Wednesday at Osland Field against the Corvallis Knights, a 7:05 start time. Come out and support your GreyWolves. They're playing some great baseball right now, like I said, in first place, and a great opportunity to prove themselves once again against the first half champs of the South Division in the WCL. So possibly their greatest competition that they've faced so far. Either way, hope to see you out there at Osland Field. I'm Evan Giddings, and speaking for my partner, Fletcher Like, had the middle innings. We'd like to say thank you and good night here from Volcano Stadium.